Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Xidu. More children, more blessings, starting from Bulma. Chapter 21. Bulma heard the voice, looked back, and saw a tall young man coming out from the shadow of the castle. Under the sunshine, he is 1.75 meters tall, with strong muscles, handsome appearance, and that very iconic crab head. Bulma felt unbelievable. She rubbed her eyes, confirmed again, and then said with a slightly trembling voice, You, could it be? The young man nodded, with a soft smile on his face. That's right, Bulma, hey. King of Chowder Rice. Quote. The young man was a little speechless. Didn't he recognize this? Bulma, I am Son Goku. I grew up with the power of the Dragon Ball. Haha, I'm just kidding you. Of course, Bulma recognized him as Son Goku at a glance, but he was just playing around for a while. In other words, the thing hovering in the air I saw just now is. That's right, it's Shenron. Son Goku stepped forward, with a rare expression of apology on his face, and said to Bulma. Bulma, I'm sorry, your wish can only be fulfilled by me next time. Looking at Son Goku in front of him, Bulma shook his head slightly after a moment of silence. Aren't you going to forgive me? Seeing Son Goku, although he has grown up, he still looks so silly. Bulma burst out laughing, then looked shyly at Son Goku in front of him. I mean, my wish has come true. Son Goku understood Bulma's meaning in an instant. He hugged Bulma happily, and then turned around dozens of times on the spot. Stop, it's too fast. Let me down. Bulma was dizzy and staring. Now she has to consider another question, whether she can bear Son Goku's entry into the palace in the future. Son Goku hurriedly put her down, and Bulma recovered after resting for a while. She looked at Son Goku and said shyly, I'll just make it hard for you to be my boyfriend. Unexpectedly, Son Goku shook his head after hearing this, and Bulma's originally happy face instantly showed disappointment that could not be concealed. Could it be that he doesn't like himself? Bulma, I said, I want to marry you. Son, Jun-san. Quote. The two quickly established a relationship and decided to go together to meet Bulma's parents to discuss the matter. Xidu, the place where the most Dragon Ball plots take place. The bustling scene makes people have to feel that Xidu is worthy of being the largest city in Dragon Ball and the gathering place of Z fighters. Bulma drove the car all the way and stopped in front of a mansion. This mansion looks much bigger than the castle of the Chowder King from a distance. You must know that the Chowder is a castle built in the wild, but the mansion in front of you was built in a big city like Xidu, where every inch of land is expensive. Needless to say, the owner of this mansion, who else but the Bulma family? Even Son Goku in his previous life had never seen such a rich man. But after thinking about it, the Bulma family can be said to have almost monopolized the capsule technology in this world, and the capsules in the Dragon Ball world can be said to be everywhere. It would be weird if there was no money. Bulma took Son Goku's hand into the mansion, and the two met the Brives. Just like the characters in the comics, the Brives are very cheerful. When they see the handsome and sunny Son Goku, they are so happy from ear to ear. Dr. Brive took Son Goku to visit his home. Unexpectedly, in this mansion, besides wild cats, wild dogs and even wild dinosaurs. According to Dr. Brive, he picked them up at random. Son Goku looked at the huge dinosaurs flying in the sky and walking on the ground in front of him. Tears of happiness almost flowed from the corner of his mouth. I don't know how these dinosaurs tasted compared to the one encountered by Huionshan. Maybe Saiyan genes are at work again, but Son Goku really wants to try different types of dinosaur meat. Bulma called us before. I thought you were short, but now you look much taller than I thought. Dr. Brive said, looking at Son Goku, who was 2 heads taller than himself. That's because something happened. Bulma explained from the sidelines. Son Goku discovered some details from the conversation between Bulma and Dr. Brive, and he asked Bulma. You already told the family about the two of us when I wasn't using the Dragon Ball. I don't. How could I be interested in little Son Jun? Bulma's face turned red in an instant. It was just after meeting Chi-Chi. She had a slight sense of crisis. At this time, Bulma's mother, Bridget, was walking over with 3 cups of coffee. She squinted her eyes and said with a smile. The girl Bulma asked us how we feel about the relationship between siblings. Mom, The secret in her heart was ruthlessly exposed by her parents, and Bulma was a little shy to the point of embarrassment. These things were not told to Son Goku before. By the way, speaking of which, have you ever kissed? Dr. Brive asked a question that he was very concerned about, as if it wasn't a big deal. How is it possible? Bulma yelled angrily, is she such a casual person? Hey, Dr. Brive sighed, and with a disappointed look on his back, he criticized Bulma. You are really outdated, you don't look like a member of our family at all. HMPH. Bulma gave Dr. Brive a blank look, then whispered to himself. Dad always said these embarrassing things, people, our first kiss. Son Goku still believes what Bulma said. Although Bulma seems to be very open in the comics, she is actually very measured. Thinking about the original version, she talked with the god of tea for so many years, but she never slept together once. This is unimaginable in the world of the island country. Of course you ask me how do I know? It's very simple, if these two have been in the same room before, with Vegeta's personality when he first arrived on Earth, it's no wonder they didn't kill the god of tea. Tsunere Prince, it's not just talking. Goku is here for coffee. Bridget put a cup of coffee in Son Goku's hand. Dr. Brive also picked up a glass, and of course Bridget herself drank the remaining glass. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Bulma was full of doubts, she yelled at Bridget. Where's my coffee? Oops, I forgot about yours, Bulma, or can you make yourself a cup? Quote. Bulma is a little speechless, who is his own? But after so many years, she has long been used to the character of her mother, Bridget. Bulma walked towards the kitchen next door, where she was going to drink a glass of orange juice and forget it. Seeing Bulma leave, Bridget hurried forward and said to Son Goku. Your name is Son Goku, right? You look so handsome, how about it? Do you want to consider dumping Bulma and date me? Quote. Mother. Bulma stood at the door with an angry expression on her face, and she guessed that her mother, Bridget, was deliberately distracting her, and she really had bad intentions. Oh, I've been discovered. Bikini covered her small cherry mouth, but she showed no regrets on her face, instead she smiled happily. How can this be done? Goku, why don't we elope? Hearing what Bai Genie said, Bulma was so frightened that he didn't even take the orange juice, and ran directly in front of Son Goku, blocking it. What do you want? He's my boyfriend. Bridget put her chin on one hand and said in a very embarrassed way, but Mom hasn't dated such a handsome boy for a long time. Quote. Bulma was a little speechless, she could only turn her head to look at Dr. Brive. Dad, why don't you just say a few words? Dr. Brive held a stick for stirring coffee in his mouth, and said calmly. I don't care. You too. Bulma was furious as if his head was on fire. Oh, our Bulma is so angry. What can I do? Bulma is still arguing with Bridget, but Son Goku is secretly pleased. Although Brigitta's daughter is already 16 years old, standing with Bulma is still like a sister. Mature flavor, just right fullness. Rich people really take good care of themselves. On the other hand, Dr. Brive looked as if he had been drained. Unfortunately, in my impression, Dr. Brive seems to have lived a long time. Son Goku sighed secretly, and could only pin his hopes on that man. If I remember correctly, when the first generation of Piccolo Daimao just dominated the world, was it drawing lots to bomb the western capital? Dr. Brive doesn't even want to run away. Unfortunately, it was stopped by Tien Shinhan at that time. If the Tien Shinhan of this world can't stop Piccolo Daimao in time, then... Dr. Brive suddenly felt a chill down his back and sneezed. Strangeness. How do you feel like someone is trying to plot against you? At this time, Bulma just finished arguing with Bridget, and she made it clear. Anyway, I don't care, I want to marry Sun Jun immediately. What are you in a hurry for, girl? It's not that we disagree, but the problem is that you are only 16 years old. This is really difficult. Why don't you take care of your mother first? HMPH, stop talking nonsense. Then, 2 years later, Sun Jun and I will get married. Also, I won't live in this house with Sun Jun, and I won't give you any chance to take advantage of. Seeing Bulma's resolute appearance, it seemed that he was afraid that he would really snatch Son Goku away. After Bridget and Dr. Brive looked at each other, they said with a smile on their faces. Since you insist, it's hard for us to say anything. I will let your father buy you a separate house in Xidu. Although Bulma, you girl will not reach the age of marriage in 2 years, but if you just hide in the room and do something, I don't know. Bulma had never won against Bridget, so she could only pull Son Goku up and walk out the door in a rage. Staying in this home for a second is dangerous. Be careful when you go out, and remember to take an umbrella when it rains. Bulma's mother touched her beautiful face and said worriedly. The girl Bulma has been rebellious for a long time. Son Goku was pulled back to the car by Bulma all the way. Seeing his strange expression, Bulma asked Son Goku a sole question with a gloomy face. What were you thinking just now? It couldn't be true. I didn't, it's impossible, how could it be? Son Goku hastily denied it 3 times. Then you swear, it is absolutely impossible to have strange thoughts about my mother, otherwise the sky will be struck by lightning. Son Goku hesitated for a moment, looked up at the temporarily clear sky, and then said righteously. Don't dare to post, don't dare to post. Quote. 2 years later, Bulma finally came of age. And Son Goku was an adult before time travel, and now he is 22 years old. Therefore, the wedding of the two can naturally be held as scheduled. For this reason, Dr. Brive and his wife directly bought the largest auditorium in the western capital. Son Goku put on a suit for a rare occasion, and Bulma next to him wore a white wedding dress. Bulma, who is a bride for the first time, is so beautiful. In addition to some relatives and friends of Bulma's family who came to the wedding, even Master Roshi and Krillin Yamcha were also invited by him. After all, Son Goku didn't waste these 2 years in vain, he also worked hard. He is working hard on climbing the Karin Tower, drinking the super magic water, and practicing with weight. At the same time, in order to verify the results, he also participated in the world's #1 martial arts conference. Originally, Master Roshi planned for Chao Zhuang to participate under the pseudonym of Jackie Chan, because he didn't want his disciple Krillin to be arrogant and conceited, and wanted him to understand that there is a sky beyond the sky, and there are people beyond people. But after seeing Son Goku who signed up on the spot, he decisively chose to give up. He knew very well that Krillin's strength could not beat Son Goku. Sure enough, in this world's #1 martial arts tournament, Son Goku defeated Krillin and Yamcha together without even opening Kaioken. He also successfully won the 21st championship, and now Dr. Brive and his wife are even more satisfied with him. In this contest, Son Goku also became friends with Krillin Yamcha, and Yamcha also swore that he would be ashamed at the next world #1 Budokai. Although he said the same thing last time, but this time he made up his mind to join Master Roshi as well. That's why several people were invited by Son Goku. Under the stage, Yamcha looked at the 2 talented and beautiful women walking slowly forward with each other arm in arm. For some reason, he always felt that something was wrong, and there seemed to be some green things taking root and sprouting on his head. But he can't figure it out. Why am I feeling depressed all of a sudden? Maybe Master Yamcha wants a girlfriend too. Yamcha nodded, thinking what he said made sense. Then tonight, you? Yeah, Master Yamcha. Master Roshi was delighted when he heard the color behind him. He immediately lowered his head to flatter the oolong beside him. Did you see those girls with big breasts and hips in front? Oolong looked in the direction of his finger, then nodded. What's the matter, lustful old man? Master Roshi hastily tapped Oolong on the head with the wooden crutch in his hand. Asshole, I told you to call me Master Roshi or Master Wushan politely outside. Okay, lecherous old man. Understood, lecherous old man. Quote. You fool. Master Roshi was about to hit him twice, but suddenly realized that he was asking for something, so he restrained his attitude and coughed softly. What a oolong. I remember. You came from the same kindergarten as Puer, right? Do you know how to change shape? Quote. In the wedding room, only Bulma and Son Goku are left. They had been waiting for this day for 2 full years. Now is the time to break the shackles. At this time, Bulma's face was like a peach blossom, and her lips were dripping red, which was simply beautiful. Compared with 2 years ago, it is a little less youthful, but more mature. Bulma's eyes were full of anticipation, but also a little bit of timidity. She bit her red lips slightly and whispered. Sunjun, you have to be gentle. Don't worry, Bulma, I'm just rubbing. Overnight, the difference between Saiyan when she was a child and when she grew up can be described as a world of difference. Bulma didn't fall asleep all night. She clutched her stomach and said angrily. What do you think of me? It's not that Bulma didn't do her homework before she got married. She also bought some discs and books in private and secretly read them. But even if it's filming, it's only 2 hours at most. But what about Son Goku? 10 hours. Son Goku also knew that he had gone too far, so he could only scratch his head in embarrassment and explained. I'm sorry Bulma, I'm also for the revival plan of our Saiyan clan. Saiyan revival. For this brand new word, Bulma expressed his incomprehension. Seeing that Son Goku is already married to Bulma, there is no need to hide many things. He told Bulma that he is not a pure earthling, but a Saiyan from outside the universe. Saiyan is a natural fighting nation. They are born with powerful fighting power. They make a living by invading other planets. I was sent to the Earth when I was a child to let me rule this planet. Facing the explosive news, Bulma was a little distracted, even forgetting the pain in his lower body for a moment. But Sunjun, the cruel Saiyan you told you is completely different. Because not all of Saiyan are villains, but many of them are coerced, threatened and secretly manipulated by a universe emperor. Later, in order not to threaten his own status, the emperor of the universe simply destroyed Saiyan himself, and blew up the planet they were on. I also managed to escape because I was sent to Earth in advance. Bulma blinked in bewilderment after hearing this, although she knew that Son Goku was different, but the identity of this universe person is too outrageous. But if it was before, she might have thought that Son Goku was joking, but after a night of fighting yesterday, she believes that Saiyan is really a fighting nation. So the reason why you are pushing so hard is to revive the Saiyan clan? Bulma asked Son Goku. Son Goku nodded, and then sighed. Actually, I am not the only one who survived Saiyan, but the others only know how to fight every day, and they don't really think about the future of the Saiyan family at all, so the important task of multiplying Saiyan can only I will do my best. Bulma, you said no matter how hard this fist is, the place that should be hard is not hard. Is it useful? Bulma blushed slightly. Of course she knew what Son Goku meant, it was something even easier to use than a stick. How can you revive a nation by yourself? Although Bulma knew Son Goku's strength and greatness, it was still a bit of a fantasy for a single person. No, Bulma, it's not up to me, it's up to us. Quote. Hearing Son Goku's words, Bulma's heart was sweetened, and he could understand what he did last night. After all, the responsibility on him is indeed too great. Seeing that Bulma was persuaded, Son Goku looked like a budding bud again, and he was eager to try again in an instant, remembering that there were still some new martial arts moves that he hadn't used before. Wait, Sunjun. Bulma hastily stopped. She is not Saiyan, how can it be so easy to recover? Although Bulma also wants to do his best for Saiyan. Seeing this, Son Goku didn't hesitate, and directly took out a fairy bean. This is the testimony that he climbed Karin Tower for today. Bulma, try eating this fairy bean. Fairy bean. Bulma actually ate it when I saw Son Goku training. It is a kind of bean that can restore physical strength miraculously. Crackling, Bulma bit off the fairy bean and ate it. Sure enough, in just a few breaths, all the pain in her body miraculously disappeared. And it seems that not only physical strength has been recovered, but even the door curtain has been installed back. Fairy bean is so amazing. Bulma blushed and told Son Goku about this, and Son Goku was also surprised. Shondo actually has this function. It may be that Bulma hasn't been injured long enough, but anyway, this is too far. But, Bulma, although what you said seems to be true, I can't. In the spirit of science, I want to find out the truth. Faced with Son Goku's request, Bulma naturally would not refuse, but this opportunity is rare, and she was very passive yesterday. This time, she wanted to see if she would feel different if she took the initiative. Bulma personally cooked a table of delicacies for Son Goku, after all he hadn't eaten all day. Bulma himself is fine, there are fairy beans, so even if he doesn't eat for a few days, it's not a problem. She filled the table with delicious food, then sat aside and looked at Son Goku who was gulping in front of her. For some reason, Bulma suddenly smiled. She felt very happy now. Goku should be a good husband in the future. She didn't know why, but a very sad thought suddenly appeared in her mind. If Goku hadn't used the Dragon Ball to make a wish to grow up, would she have waited for him for so long? Will the two miss it? A picture floated in front of Bulma. She was sitting alone in the room. She rested her chin on one hand against the window and looked out the window. It was raining lightly outside at this time, and the rain was slowly flowing down the transparent glass. The expression on Bulma's face was reflected in the rain and the glass. There was only sadness and melancholy in her eyes. The melody of the song, "Romantic Dedicated to You," sounded in my ears, which is the regret of many people's childhood. What happened to Bulma? Son Goku looked at Bulma's silly look a little strangely, and reached out to touch her forehead. After all, there were many venues for communication yesterday, so he tried it. Kitchen, toilet, sofa, and bathroom can all enhance Saiyan's fighting power. So what if Bulma catches a cold? Bulma just woke up when she saw Son Goku's oily hand on her face. She yelled and punched Son Goku in the face. Bulma. After learning that it turned out that Son Goku was worried about catching a cold and getting sick, he immediately apologized. "I'm sorry, Son-jun." What else could he have said in the face of Bulma's apology? Besides, he wouldn't get angry over such a trivial matter. Soon, Son Goku turned his grief into appetite again, and began to eat and drink. Seeing this, Bulma smiled slightly, and drove out all the images that had just appeared in his mind. "How can I have that kind of memory?" Bulma shook her head. She didn't want such a thing to happen. After all, if she was really the only one in this world, it would be miserable. It is already very happy to see Son Goku right in front of us. Bulma put these unhappiness behind him and said to Son Goku, "By the way, I remembered, Son-jun, did you say that you wanted to marry Ox King's daughter at Flame Mountain just for Saiyan's revival?" Son Goku swallowed a big mouthful of meat, then nodded. "That's right, that's why. So, I might take a concubine in the future." Son Goku was still a little quiet when he talked about taking concubines, and he was also worried that Bulma would not agree to it. Unexpectedly, Bulma nodded calmly, as if it was not a big deal, and even took the initiative to tease Son Goku. "Hey, Son-jun, that girl named Chi-Chi is still a little girl, don't you want to use Dragon Ball too?" Son Goku shook his head and said sincerely, "What do you think of me? Of course I am willing to wait until she grows up." Bulma smiled slightly. Son Goku had a conscience in this regard. He will not force anyone because of his own desires. Then, Son-jun, what are your plans for the future? Son Goku frowned and thought for a while, then said, "I have to improve my strength as soon as possible. Soon there will be a big devil in this world, and I have to defeat him then." Big devil. Bulma blinked. Although she doesn't know what the Great Demon King is, she believes everything Son Goku says. "In this case, Son-jun, is there anything I can do for you?" Son Goku's eyes lit up. He looked up and down at Bulma and said, "You can just lie flat, it's not impossible to stick up." Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Soon, a year passed. With the joint efforts of Son Goku and Bulma, Bulma successfully gave birth to her first child. Son Goku knew that Trunks would not appear at this time, so he named the child, Sun Wuyuan. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully giving birth to an heir. Reward plus 500 combat power, and reward a somersault cloud that can sit even if it is not pure. Ding! The system prompts that the rewards of this system increase with the host's own battles and the potential of giving birth to heirs. As the system sound ended, Son Goku felt the power in his body rapidly increasing. He was surprised to find that the combat power rewarded by the system was almost the same as what he had cultivated. In other words, you can easily control this power without practicing at all. Son Goku clenched his fists. The increase in combat power at this time made him feel as if he had inexhaustible strength. Now his combat power and his own training are close to the level of 800. With such combat effectiveness, it is definitely no problem to deal with the first-generation Piccolo Daimao who is about to be resurrected and returned. But Son Goku is more aware that the enemy in the future, especially in the Z and even the Super era, the enemy's combat power will increase geometrically, and it will not be enough to just be satisfied with this. However, the system reward this time also made Son Goku understand the direction of his future efforts, according to the system. That is to say, if Son Goku wants to increase his combat effectiveness, in addition to getting married and having children, he also needs to actively improve his basic combat effectiveness. The higher his basic combat power, the higher his potential to give birth to offspring, and the stronger his promotion. And at the very beginning, the system also clearly stated that only characters with names and surnames in the original comics will increase their combat effectiveness, so it is obviously unrealistic to rely on numbers. Besides, even if he is a Saiyan, he is very durable, and it is impossible for him to marry hundreds or thousands. Then there would be no drop left. How will you practice then? So the best way is to carry out the two upgrading methods simultaneously, which is the most cost-effective way. After Son Goku figured it out, he no longer struggled, and for the next few days he still focused on taking care of Bulma. Bulma had just given birth and was lying on the bed very weakly. Son Goku was still very distressed. It's just that he is a little clumsy and often does some funny things in the hospital. Not only was Bulma not angry, but she was very amused by him. Looking at the handsome Son Goku in front of him, he remembered how powerful he was every time he entered the palace. Shocked by that force, Bulma couldn't help but his thoughts flew. That, Son Jun, what's wrong, Bulma? Bulma's face was a little flushed, and he whispered, I was just thinking, your task of reviving Saiyan is so important, but wouldn't it be a waste of time for me to just lie on the bed and recuperate? Son Goku blinked, a little puzzled. Seeing that Son Goku still didn't understand, Bulma had to cover half of his face with the quilt, and said shyly. It's just, do you still have the beans that were ready to eat last time? Son Goku finally understands now, Bulma's car wants him to refuel again. This, isn't that good, you just gave birth. But I just bought a pair of Valentino shoes today. Quote. Bulma, my Bulma, I thought about it, how can I bear you to suffer? You wait, I'll go get you fairy beans right now. Son Goku arranged for the nurse to take care of Bulma at all times, then jumped out of the window, yelled somersault cloud, and flew towards Kalinta while the nurse was stunned. Karin Tower, a legendary building. It is said that only those who climb to the top of the tower with their own strength can see the immortals on Karin Tower. 2 years ago, Son Goku came here, that time he came for Chaosenshui. And under the Karin Tower, there are father and son Bola and Woopa who have guarded the tower for generations. It's just a pity that Woopa is a boy. This time, Son Goku naturally didn't need to climb the tower after having somersault cloud, and flew up directly. From a distance, he saw Karin-sama standing with his back to himself, standing by the pillar, and pouted his buttocks, as if he was about to fall into the sky. Ahem. Son Goku's polite cough reminder made Karin-sama tremble and almost fell down. Fortunately, it is a cat after all, and it is very agile, and it quickly stood firm. But, how could there be someone suddenly above this high altitude? It is a Karin-sama majestic, isn't it a shameful thing for others to see its pure butt? Kill to kill, kill to kill. Meow. Karin-sama turned his head angrily, but it was none other than Son Goku who came. It breathes a sigh of relief, it's okay if it's Son Goku. It's not because of anything else, but, it can't beat it. Back then, Karin-sama wanted to use super holy water to trick Son Goku into leaving, but after being exposed, Son Goku directly used Kaioken 10 times. It almost knocked off its Karin Tower at that time. The past was vivid, and immortal Karin was very wrong. It can only pretend to be licking the cat's paw as if nothing happened, and then said calmly. Isn't this Son Goku? Karin-sama, long time no see. Why do you come to me when you have time? Do you want to ask me for something again? Karin-sama looked Son Goku up and down, and then suddenly exclaimed. Ha, you, how can you sit on somersaulting clouds? Karin-sama finds it incredible. After all, it controls all the somersault clouds in the world of Dragon Ball. Except for one being cheated by Master Roshi begging for nothing, it has not given away a single flower for hundreds of years. It's not that it doesn't want to, but that there are almost no ones who can sit somersaults. No way, the riding conditions are too harsh. So it's weird, how did Son Goku get on the somersault cloud? Could it be that somersaulting clouds can bend and stretch like it? Faced with Karin-sama's suspicious gaze, Son Goku didn't take it seriously. Why can't I sit still? As he spoke, he jumped in from the somersault cloud. The Karin Tower is a pumpkin-shaped building that is open on all sides, only the floor and the ceiling. There is a small hole above the ceiling, where there is a direct connection to the place where the god is located through the Rui stick. But this time he didn't come for the Temple of Heaven. Karin-sama was a little speechless when he saw Son Goku walking towards the jar of fairy beans as if there was no cat around. Boy, do you consider this your home? You kid, I gave you more than 50 fairy beans last time and ate them all. Son Goku turned around and scratched his head, and smiled awkwardly. Actually, most of them are eaten by Bulma. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Karin-sama couldn't hold back, stepped forward and tapped Son Goku on the head with the stick in his hand. What do you guys think of my fairy bean? It's really violent. Don't you know how precious this thing is? Son Goku crossed his arms around his chest, tilted his head and thought for a while, and then blurted out. This thing, don't you still have a few jars? Forehead. You, how do you know? Karin-sama's entire cat's face is full of disbelief, a secret that he has never told anyone. Son Goku naturally won't tell it the real reason. Before Karin-sama recovered from the shock, Son Goku had already started looking for it himself. He walked to a corner of Karin Tower, and saw several water tank-like things standing in the corner. Could it be that the fairy beans were hidden in there? Son Goku stepped forward. Stop, stop, Goku, stop. Karin-sama was in a hurry, frantically trying to stop Son Goku, but it was obviously too late. Son Goku lifted the lid of the water tank, and saw that what was inside was not fairy beans, but a jar of water. Strange, Karin-sama doesn't need to drink water at all. Son Goku looked at the water in front of him, and saw the ripples on the water surface suddenly flicked slightly, and then unexpectedly reflected the picture of the lower world like a mirror. When the water ripples completely stopped, the scene on the water surface gradually became clear. Inside, it was a pink female cat taking a bath by the sink. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Cat, Karin-sama. This time it was Son Goku who looked at Karin-sama with incredible eyes. His eyes were not only shocked but also shocked. Ahem. Karin-sama saw her secret exposed, so she could only pretend to be calm again. It licked the cat's paw, and then said, well, you know Goku, I've been the only cat in this Karin Tower for hundreds of years. I don't have any other entertainment except to pee down and see how far I can pee against the wind, so sometimes I get bored. You get it, Goku. Besides, watching cat movies, is it against the law? Quote. Son Goku thought about it seriously, and replied, it's not against the law. Karin-sama let out a long sigh of relief, straightened the cat's body, and became confident. That's it. It pretended to be nonchalant and walked to Son Goku, then grabbed the lid and closed the water tank in front of it, saying lightly, come on, let's continue talking about Xidu. But, Son Goku looked aside. Besides the water tank in front of him, there were also several similar water tanks there. I'm a little curious, what can I see in these water tanks? While Son Goku was talking, he was about to lift the lids next to him. Seeing this, how can Karin-sama bear it? It jumped straight up, and then straightened its fat and short cat feet. It was a flying kick, and it kicked Son Goku in the face. Son Goku was unprepared and was sent flying by this kick. Fortunately, his current combat power is no longer what it used to be, and he recovered in just a moment. Then he grabbed the railing of Karin Tower, and with both hands, he turned over and returned to the tower. He wiped the cat's footprints on his face, and became even more curious about the contents of the water tank. Seeing that Son Goku didn't give up at all, Karin-sama looked very flustered. He stood in front of the water tank and made a terrifying look. It threatened. I advise you not to be too curious. What is locked in this water tank is a heinous demon. Bah, devil. Seeing Karin-sama tightly guarding in front of the water tank, I feel like if you dare to take a step forward, my cat's claws are not vegetarians. Just kidding, no matter what, I'm dignified. Karin-sama don't want to lose face. What if Son Goku still watches European and American cats knowing that he is fine? Son Goku stopped in his tracks. Seeing Karin-sama's attitude of death, he touched his face and smiled easily. How about, let's talk about Xidu. After seeing Son Goku finally give up, Karin-sama also let out a long sigh of relief. At this moment, it just wants Goku to grab the fairy beans and go away. This guy knows too much. Well, Goku, here are the beans you asked for. Karin-sama took the initiative to walk to the corner on the other side, then stretched out his fat and short hands, digging in a gap for a long time, and finally took out a jar. The jar was opened, and it was filled with green fairy beans. How much do you want this time? Karin-sama asked Son Goku. If you can, just give it to me. Quote. Karin-sama couldn't hold back, and hit Son Goku's head hard again. It hurts. Although Son Goku is much more powerful than Karin-sama now, it still hurts. Did you take my fairy beans for peas? Karin-sama said angrily, and then grabbed nearly 100 fairy beans from inside and gave them to Son Goku. You kid, save me some food. Don't bother me for another year. Son Goku didn't mind at all. Anyway, that's what Karin-sama said last time anyway. It's just that what I said last time was, don't tell others that you saw me after you go down, and I won't see you again. Quote. After getting the celestial beans, Son Goku put them in his arms. His goal had been achieved, and he happily walked to the edge of Karin Tower. Without hesitation, he jumped directly. Feeling the drooping air blowing frantically against his cheeks and hair, Son Goku felt extremely comfortable. No wonder rich people like the feeling of skydiving. When it fell to almost half the distance, Son Goku shouted to the sky. Somersault cloud. A yellow cloud flew over from a distance and caught him directly and firmly. Under the control of Son Goku, fly all the way back towards the West capital. He can't wait to see if Valentino really has the effect of increasing attack speed. Of course, the most important thing is that he feels sorry for Bulma's hard work in hospital. Half an hour later, Son Goku, who was lying comfortably on the somersault cloud, suddenly heard the sound of fierce gun battles coming from below. And there seemed to be a very familiar female voice. Son Goku was a little curious, poked his head out from the clouds and looked down. See below is in a mountain field, there are several police cars chasing a hovering motorcycle. Standing on the motorcycle is a blonde beauty with big waves. Son Goku recognized it at a glance. She isn't Lan Chi. I didn't expect to meet here. Lan Chi's driving skills are very good. Even if the terrain is complicated, she is not afraid at all, and drives at full speed without stepping on the brakes. Old driver, Son Goku praised. Those police cars following behind couldn't catch up at all, seeing that the distance between the two sides didn't shorten but widened. Stop the car quickly, or we'll shoot. The policeman sitting in the passenger seat of one of the police cars warned while pulling out his gun angrily to shoot. It's a pity that it missed. The policeman who was driving on the side complained, no, you even fired and warned. What's the matter with your marksmanship? Stop rambling, I want you to take care of it. Drive your car. It's almost too late to eat other people's tails. The blonde Lan Chi dodged left and right, and no one could hurt her at all. She looked very arrogant at this time, and the figure she showed was quite hot. HMPH, smelly policeman, I'll show you some color. The blonde Lan Chi drove with one hand, took out a grenade from her chest with the other hand, and then directly bit off the ring on it with her mouth, and threw it back violently. Boom! The grenade exploded, hitting the same police car that had just fired. Fortunately, the technology in the world of Dragon Ball is relatively advanced. Even if the police car is shot in the front, it is just blown over, and the police car on the car is not life-threatening. You still talk about my marksmanship, but your driving skills are not very good. Stop rambling, you can do what you want. The two cursed and climbed out of the overturned police car. The police cars around them whizzed past them and continued to chase after Lan Chi, looking like they had no intention of waiting for them to get into the car. Lan Chi drove the motorcycle through the valley, facing the natural rocks. She fully utilized the advantages of the flexibility of the motorcycle. However, the police car behind him was chasing him, and he couldn't get rid of it. Seeing that there was not much oil left on the motorcycle, Lan Chi no longer ran away desperately, but took out a pistol from her chest. Son Goku is very curious, is this TM a chest or a two-dimensional pocket? She kept shooting behind her, directly hitting with a pistol. Soon another police car lost its balance after its tire was punctured. Ha 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 ha. Lan Qi was arrogant and proud. At this moment, a strong air current in the valley blows from the side, just blowing a strand of golden hair on her head to her nose. Lan Qi only felt that her nose was a little itchy, and she secretly thought it was bad. But it was too late to react, and it was accompanied by the sneeze of, "Ah, sneeze." Lan Qi transformed directly on the spot and became a soft girl with black hair. Now even the originally arrogant eyes became clear and innocent. This is what is special about Lan Qi, she has a double personality. As long as he sneezes, he will switch his personality form and become completely different from before. That is to say, if you are with Lan Qi, it looks like you are only married to one person, but you can enjoy twice the happiness. The black-haired Lan Qi couldn't drive at all, and the out-of-control motorcycle directly threw her off it. Soon, the police cars behind caught up with her, and saw 4 or 5 police cars surrounded her, and the policemen who came down from inside were holding guns and staring at Lan Qi very vigilantly. I'm afraid that she will pull out some horrible thing again. This Lan Qi is the #1 criminal in the police station. Poor Chest is extremely evil. Looking at a group of people suddenly appearing in front of her, the black-haired Lan Qi looked terrified. She didn't know what happened, she was very helpless, and said with a pitiful look. "You, who are you? What do you want to do?" "Of course we want to." The policeman who came down slapped himself on the face fiercely to wake himself up, and was almost bewildered by Lan Qi's beauty. Now is not the time to go crazy, they are facing the famous robber Lan Qi. "Lan Qi, you're under arrest, raise your hands, don't try to play tricks." Facing the strange man in front of her, Lan Qi put on an innocent look. Her moving black eyes blinked, indicating that she didn't know anything. "Stop pretending, we're the police, and you just robbed a bank." "Me?" Lan Qi pointed at herself, then said softly. How could I rob a bank? It's useless for you to regret it now, the bank's money is on you." 4 or 5 policemen held guns in their hands, and approached carefully step by step, for fear that Lan Qi would draw out the guns from somewhere and fight back. Seeing the vicious looks of several people, Lan Qi could only raise her head and shout for help. "HMPH, no one will come to save you even if your throat is broken. Besides, you are the one who committed the crime." Lan Qi didn't care, she kept shouting for help. At this moment, a man jumped down from the sky. After he landed steadily, he showed a sunny smile and said to the few people who were slowly approaching Lan Qi with guns in front of him, "Is there any law for you to bully such a beautiful woman in broad daylight? Is there any law?" The policeman in front of him looked at Sun Wu, who suddenly appeared in front of him, all in a state of bewilderment. Where did this kid come from? They looked around and determined the surrounding environment. That's right, this is indeed a canyon, surrounded by cliffs, and a few of them are as high as tens of meters. How did this kid appear? Could it be that he jumped directly from such a high cliff? But seeing his unscathed and calm expression, the policeman felt a little guilty for a while. Is that human being? But looking at his dazzling handsome appearance in the sun, he doesn't look like a monster at all. "You, who are you? Could it be Lan Qi's accomplice lurking here? You'd better not move around, we have guns in our hands." Faced with these people's questioning, Son Goku grinned, showing a harmless expression. He didn't answer, and didn't have to. I saw Son Goku's figure flickering, and with a few fists and kicks, and within a few short breaths, he knocked all these people down to the ground. Of course, he was still very measured, just knocked them unconscious. Son Goku clapped his hands, looking very relaxed. He walked slowly in front of Lan Qi, and stretched out his hand towards Lan Qi, who was on the ground. "It's okay, Lan Qi." Lan Qi was curious why this man knew her name. But seeing him save himself and his extraordinary appearance, he shouldn't be a bad person. Lan Qi reached out her hand, and Son Goku pulled her up from the ground. Clasping both hands, Son Goku only felt that the fingers in his hands were cold and soft as if they were boneless. Lan Qi is indeed a natural beauty. Thank you so much. I don't know what happened. These people insisted that I robbed the bank. Tell me, how could a weak woman like me rob the bank? While talking, Lan Qi felt that she was wronged, and she seemed about to cry out from her appearance. No way, she couldn't help but wonder why. I often suffer from this kind of inexplicable bullying. Every time before going to bed, she was fine, but as soon as she opened her eyes, she was either being arrested by the police on the way or was being interrogated in the police station. Lan Chi couldn't understand at all. These policemen seemed to have a grudge against her. What did I do wrong? Hearing Lan Chi's complaint, Son Goku didn't know how to answer her for a moment. She doesn't seem to know how scary and exciting her other personality is. Lan Chi saw that Son Goku looked at her strangely, and she mistakenly thought that Son Goku didn't believe what she meant. Thinking of this, she felt even more uncomfortable, and burst into tears. Before Son Goku could figure out how to comfort her, she saw that Lan Chi's chest heaved up and down because of emotional fluctuations, and a bag of money fell out of her clothes. It seemed that the reason why those policemen were chasing her was found. Lan Chi stopped crying. She stared blankly at the money dropped at her feet. Her expression became even more strange. Who put this on me to frame me? Son Goku stepped forward lightly and took the money from Lan Chi. He glanced at it briefly, and there was a lot of money in it. It seemed to be at least 5 million. And he could even faintly smell a special fragrance, like the smell of milk tea. Could it be that she hid the bag of money on her chest just now? How did Lan Chi not fall out during the fierce chase just now? Son Goku thought about that scene in his mind, and suddenly smiled knowingly. He likes this trick. Lan Chi, I think what you said is right. The person who put this money on you must be a heinous villain. In this way, why don't you come home with me? My house is safe. Son Goku looked sincerely. And I can protect you personally. Really? Really? Lan Chi looked very happy. Obviously she didn't realize that the emphasis in Son Goku's voice was on the body. But the reason why Lan Chi agreed so readily was also because she had been unlucky in the past few months, and she never lived a day of peace. You're such a nice guy. By the way, I don't know your name yet. My name is Son Goku. Yeah, Son Goku, you're such a nice guy. Of course, Son Goku enjoys Lan Chi's evaluation of her as a good person with peace of mind, and a good person can naturally be seen. As for whether he is a good guy or not, I will talk about it slowly in another place after I go back. Son Goku yelled, somersaulting clouds towards the sky, and Lan Chi was as pure and clear as little Goku. She could even sit on the original somersaulting clouds, let alone this somersaulting cloud. The two sat on the somersault cloud one after the other, and flew towards Xidu. In Xidu Hospital, Son Goku gave Bulma the fairy beans he brought back. I saw that under the action of Shondo, Bulma's originally haggard face recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. In less than a few blinks, she can get out of bed and move freely. The doctors who were still desperately trying to persuade Son Goku not to give Bulma something strange were all stunned. What the hell? So amazing. Doesn't this make us doctors look like trash? Amidst the stunned worship expressions of the doctors and nurses, the three left calmly. Walking out of the hospital gate, Bulma gave a big stretch. It feels so good to recover. She was in a good mood at this time. Her child, Sun Wuyuan, had already been carried back by her mother, and there was a servant and nanny to take care of her at home, so she didn't have to worry about it at all. Looks like today is a good day for shopping. Only. Bulma looked back at Lan Chi, who was closely following Son Goku. Even she was a little envious of her slender thighs and snow-white skin. Although I don't mind Sun Jun looking for other women, but I don't want to lose to anyone. Women, so competitive. Bulma's eyes rolled slightly, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, already thinking of a good idea. But then again, Son Goku has been trying to take care of himself these days. Thinking of his clumsy but still trying to do a good job, Bulma's anger disappeared in an instant. As long as Sun Jun can treat himself well, what else is important? Okay, it's decided, let's have fun for a day today. Bulma is very energetic, not at all like someone who has just given birth. Son Goku walked up to Bulma, leaned close to her ear, and whispered expectantly. Bulma, is Warren still skating that you agreed in the morning? Bulma, is Warren still skating that you agreed in the morning? Bulma smiled mysteriously and replied to Son Goku, of course the good things must be saved for later. Besides, I haven't bought it yet. After speaking, Bulma stuck out her tongue and made a face, which looked very cute. Son Goku was a little depressed, and said angrily, okay, Bulma, you lied to me. Hee hee. Bulma quickly took Son Goku's hand and comforted him. Okay, it's the same when we go shopping now. By the way, how about buying some clothes for Miss Lan Chi? Hey, me. Lan Chi was slightly taken aback, and then quickly refused. I don't need it. Bulma didn't care about these things, stepped forward and held Lan Chi's hand, and said very generously. Why be ashamed, we will be a family sooner or later anyway. The black-haired Lan Chi was still too innocent to understand the meaning of Bulma's words. Just looking at Bulma's enthusiastic appearance, she trusts her from the bottom of her heart. Besides, Lan Chi remembered that Son Goku told her that he would protect himself. She never wants to be chased by the police for no reason every day when she wakes up. Bulma took Son Goku and Lan Chi to the most prosperous business district in Western capital. Can't help but say, it's just a meal to buy. Son Goku has also seen the benefits of being rich, and he deserves to be the richest man. Bulma. It's just that they decided to go shopping on the spur of the moment, and they didn't drive out, so these things can only be taken by Son Goku alone. Soon, in a short time, Son Goku's hands were already full of goods like a mountain. These things add up to the height of 3 Gokus. But Bulma doesn't seem to have shopped enough, and she says the items are expensive. If Goku falls, then the knight's promise will be cancelled. Son Goku naturally didn't dare to be careless and was extra careful. Seeing this, Bulma was very satisfied. In order to reward him, Bulma also specially selected a knee-high white silk and black and white maid outfit for Lan Chi. Lan Chi tried it, and it really fits well. She had fair skin and long legs, but after putting on this suit, she brought out her advantages and looked extremely alluring. Even Son Goku has to praise Bulma for having a good eye. It's just that Lan Chi always felt weird. She had a puzzled look on her face. Why do people here wear such strange clothes? Facing Lan Chi's puzzlement, Bulma explained without blushing, is it strange? Not strange. It fits well. You say yes, Son-jun. Son Goku looked up and down the attractive Lan Chi, and naturally he was full of praise. It's very suitable, Lan Chi. Seeing that Bulma and Son Goku both said it was okay, Lan Chi nodded her head in a daze, thinking in her heart that she seemed to be thinking too much. Bulma, do you still want to buy it? I can't hold it anymore. Son Goku is holding the tall goods. In order not to let these stacked things fall, he is already staggering. It is very difficult for him to walk. Bulma smiled secretly. If you don't buy it, why don't we go to the movies? Today we have the latest release of the Blade of Pillar Destroyer. Hey, Bulma, do you know this? HMPH, of course. But, what should I do with these things in my hand? Hold them in together. Don't worry, that movie theater is owned by my family. I have already informed that no one else will be entertained today. The whole movie theater is reserved. Quote. Under the leadership of Bulma, they quickly found a movie theater. I have to say that this movie theater is still very grand. Take the theater they are entering now as an example. At least it can accommodate thousands of people. But now, there are only 3 of them in the whole room. But that's good too. Son Goku put Bulma's purchases aside, and he stretched his muscles. I just felt that all the bones in my body were creaking. Now he has a deep understanding of a truth. No matter how high the combat power is, it is really tiring to go shopping with women. It is far more tiring than practicing with weights all day long. Seeing Son Goku's appearance, Bulma said with disdain, tisk tisk. Son-jun, are you tired now? What can we do later? HMPH, Bulma, don't you look at how many things you bought. Son Goku pointed to the goods piled up on the ground like a small hill. Not much, not even half of my usual time. Quote. While the two were bickering, the movie had already started. Lan Chi had never seen this movie before, so she was very serious, staring at the screen closely, for fear of missing any details. Son Goku also watched it very enthusiastically. After all, this drama is quite passionate, and he just happened to relax. Bulma on the side saw Goku's handsome side face, then smiled slyly, bent down quietly, unzipped the marten boots on his feet, and stretched out his jade-like little feet, which were wrapped in a layer of black silk. Quote. Son Goku suddenly felt something was wrong. He turned to look at Bulma. Don't worry, I have arranged for the staff to leave work early. Son Goku swallowed, and then looked at Lan Chi, who was focusing on the side. She didn't seem to notice this at all. How could he be in the mood to watch any movie at this moment? It would be useless to play Ultraman on the screen. As the best part of the movie unfolds, Son Goku leans over to whisper something to Bulma. Bulma's face was rosy, and she glanced at Lan Chi secretly, and saw that the line of sight between her and Lan Chi was blocked by a gift box bought earlier. Then she bent down slowly. Son Goku also stared at the picture on the movie again. It's really wonderful. Yanzu used Yanji's breath to fight against the third of the first string, and saw that Yanju's breathing method directly wrapped up the opponent completely. Hiss. The battle between the two of them can be said to be full of passion and fighting power. Son Goku clasped his hands behind his head, sometimes took deep breaths, sometimes gasped, and sometimes looked dazed, and his emotions could not help but follow the development of the plot of the characters in the movie. After a long time, with a long exclamation, the movie ended, and Son Goku also ended. Lan Chi stretched her waist and saw Bulma, who had just stood up, and puffed her cheeks. Hey, did you bring something to eat just now? Bulma faltered and shook his head, then pointed to a bottle of water on the ground with a thud. No, I just drank some water. Oh, Lan Chi nodded, looking very innocent. The three of them walked out of the movie theater together. All of them were still full of thoughts. Lan Chi felt very sorry for Yanzu, that he died like this. To this, Son Goku also nodded in agreement. That is to say, I watched this movie from beginning to end without blinking an eye. Lan Chi, the rubber of Yenju Tanjiro you mentioned is indeed very powerful. Bulma took Son Goku and Lan Chi to the most luxurious restaurant in Western capital for a big meal. Faced with Son Goku's amazing appetite, Lan Chi was dumbfounded, but Bulma was very calm. She had long been used to it. After all, only when people are full of strength can they plow the fields well. Saiyan is even more so. By the time the three of them returned home, the sky had gradually darkened. Lan Chi was quite surprised when she saw the huge building in front of her, like a castle. Is this your home, Bulma? Bulma smiled slightly, saying that this is nothing at all, besides what can be seen from the outside. She took Lan Chi's hand and walked in, introducing her to this big house. There is not only an open-air swimming pool, but also a game console room, chess and card room, massage room, sauna room, and even a golf course. Lan Chi was extremely shocked. If I want this money, why would I rob a bank? No, how could I have such a strange idea of robbing a bank? Quote. In this big villa, there is no shortage of servants. Seeing the mountain-like things that Goku was holding in his hand, 5 or 6 people came up immediately, took all these things and put them in a house specially built by Bulma for storing things. When he opened the door, it was already full of exquisite goods. This 300 square meter house was almost filled with gifts bought by Bulma. Son Goku also suggested to Bulma to vacate another room. But Bulma said she loves the feeling of the back room being stuffed. As for what products you want to use in the future, Bulma said he just wanted to buy it, but didn't want to use it. Almost all the things in this house are brand new, and many of them have not even been opened. This is probably the dull and boring life of the rich. She just wants to experience the pleasure of spending money. As to whether it is useful or not, that is another story. Son Goku packed up and walked towards where Bulma and Lan Chi were. At this time, the two were doing an open-air spa. Lan Chi enjoyed a comfortable massage. This was the first time for her to experience it, so it was naturally not comfortable. Seeing this, Bulma said at the right time, "How about it, Lan Chi, do you want to live here too?" Lan Chi opened her eyes, blinked, and said doubtfully, "Hey, can I really do that too?" "Of course," Bulma said confidently, "as long as you marry Sun Jun." "But, Goku, isn't he Bulma your husband? Don't you like him anymore?" Bulma shook his head, then looked at the other side of the aisle, Son Goku, who was walking slowly. "No, Lan Chi, I will fulfill his wish precisely because I like it." Lan Chi was stunned, and after thinking for a while, she nodded, half understanding. "In fact, if you can really stay here, it is naturally better than being chased by the police outside." Is it just that Goku likes himself? When Son Goku came over, Bulma shared the good news with him. Seeing that she took Lan Chi down in just one day, Son Goku was naturally very happy. Looking at Bulma in front of him, he could only express his gratitude with actions. Lan Chi, wait a minute, I have something I want to talk to Bulma about. After all, he dragged Bulma and ran to the next door. This time, Bulma also replaced Valentino in order to cooperate, and used 3 fairy beans. It can only be said that it is a good thing that Son Goku has enough fairy beans. Soon, a month later, another wedding was held at Bulma's house. But this time it was just a formality. After all, Lan Chi had no relatives or friends, so the 3 of them held it in the yard by themselves. Lan Chi put on a snow-white wedding dress, her curvy and hot body looked extraordinarily dazzling in the sun. Son Goku also changed into the groom's suit again, and stood with Lan Chi, and the two matched unexpectedly. Lan Chi blushed. This was the first time she had experienced such a thing. She doesn't understand many things about marriage, and needs a little teaching from Son Goku and Bulma. In the room, looking at Lan Chi with greasy skin in front of him, Son Goku never thought that he still has this day. To be honest, Lan Chi's figure is really hard to pick, and there is almost no one in the whole Dragon Ball with a better figure than her. I'm sorry, Tianjin-san. Saying Tien Shinhan's name silently gave him a sense of participation. During this period, Son Goku discovered a very interesting thing. He deliberately made Lan Chi look like a blonde. Facing the irritable blonde Lan Chi, Son Goku was naturally not used to it, and directly subdued him fiercely. It was also at this time that he discovered that the place where Lan Chi turned golden seemed to be more than just her hair. Changing between black hair and blonde hair, Lan Chi soon learned to turn passive into active. It's really embarrassing. ... My mother's martial arts path is still deep. ... In the company of Bulma and Lan Chi, a year passed quickly. Lan Chi also gave birth to a son successfully. Seeing his white and fat appearance, Son Goku named him Sun Wunang. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully giving birth to an heir. The reward is plus 1000 combat power, flying technique, and 10 fairy beans. Ding! The current character attribute panel. Name: Son Goku. Combat power: 1790. Children: 2. Skill: Kamehameha. 10 times Kaioken, flying technique. Others: 1 somersault cloud that can sit on impure, 65 fairy beans. Goku looked at the panel and the rewards and nodded. It seemed that it was the same as the previous guess. Every time after taking a concubine and giving birth, it will increase with the increase of the original combat power. Like before, Bulma gave birth to his child and added 500 combat power, but this time it is equivalent to directly doubling. Then before the birth of the next child, what he needs is to improve his combat power as soon as possible. With the improvement of combat power, the potential of the next child will be greater, and the rewards will be more. Today, with a combat strength of more than 1000, the effect of carrying weight alone is already very weak. Son Goku thought about it, and it seemed that it was time for Bulma to build himself a gravity chamber, but there was one more thing to do before that. That is the 22nd world number. One martial arts association will be held soon. The 22nd Martial Arts Association, logically speaking, should not start until 2 years later. After all, it has only been 3 years since the last time Son Goku won the championship. But because the last martial arts conference was really exciting, it was even more beautiful than all the previous martial arts conferences combined. In addition, it is unknown who broke out that Son Goku, the champion of the 21st Budo tournament, is actually the husband of Bulma, the daughter of the capsule company. All of a sudden, there were far more people who came to sponsor and invest in the martial arts conference than the original manga. Because of this, in order to respond to the call, the host of the world's number 1 martial arts conference decided to change the 5-year session to the 3-year session. And the bonus has increased to 30 million. What is the concept of 30 million? You must know that the prize money of the last, that is, the 21st martial arts conference was only 500,000. Just little Goku ate up all the money for a meal. And this time the bonus has been multiplied 60 times. Therefore, it can be said that the 22nd martial arts conference is an unprecedented prosperity. Many martial arts masters hidden in the deep mountains and old forests also came to participate in the competition. Even many defeated players in the last session experienced 3 years of hard training after seeing the strength of Son Goku and others. Now they are confident to prove themselves again today. It is also through this upsurge of martial arts among the people that the number 1 martial arts association in the world has radiated from a small place for self-entertainment to the highest level of martial arts competitions in the country. The location of the contest has also been changed from Papaya Island to Xidu. The venue is bigger and can accommodate more audiences. Even Master Roshi was eager to participate after hearing the prize money. He also made a special call to Son Goku, 30 million. Goku, you know that after I win 30 million, I can invite all the sisters who dance gymnastics to my Turtle Fairy house, and there is no need for pu'er and oolong anymore. No, just thinking about it makes my nose bleed. Then, Master Roshi talked a lot about his grand blueprint after winning the championship. In this regard, he even named this dream as Master Roshi's ambition. Quote. In this regard, Son Goku can only say that no matter which world he is in, Master Roshi has played normally. Of course, this time he will still participate in the competition himself. Actual combat is the best way to accumulate combat experience. Besides, there will be another thing happening along with this martial arts meeting. However, Son Goku did not tell Master Roshi about his decision to participate for the time being, and wanted to make his dream a little longer. Until the day of registration, Master Roshi looked at Son Goku, who just finished registering, with a harmless face and even took the initiative to smile at him. His fragile heart seemed to be broken in an instant. Goku, why are you competing? Why didn't you say it earlier? You said earlier, I won't come. Quote. At this moment, Master Roshi felt an unspeakable pain in his heart. What's even more irritating is that there are 2 very beautiful beauties standing beside Son Goku. Of course, Bulma needless to say, and the black-haired Lan Chi is not at all inferior. Seeing the 2 being intimate with Son Goku, Master Roshi is so envious. I think he was handsome when he was young. It's a pity that he is not as open-minded as Son Goku, hanged on a tree, so that he is still alone today. Master Roshi's eyes seemed to have lost the light, and he froze in place. But soon, a purple-haired beauty walked past him, charming, with very seductive eyes. Master Roshi immediately came alive and ran up to strike up a conversation. What I got in exchange was naturally a slap in the face. Master Roshi held his cheeks with big red marks, and murmured, "This girl's little hands are really soft." Quote. Son Goku was speechless, but he looked at the purple-haired girl and recognized it quickly. It is none other than the girl in the original manga who performed the excellent seduction technique against Nanwu in the 21st Martial Arts Association. She seems to be called Lan Fang. It's just very strange, for some reason, she was supposed to participate in the last session, but she didn't come. Instead, it appeared in this year's martial arts conference, perhaps because the bonuses were really too much this time. But no matter what the reason, since it appeared here, Son Goku naturally had no reason to give up. He looked at Master Roshi in front of him, and could only apologize again in his heart. In the distance, Krillin and Yamcha also came back after signing up, and seeing Master Roshi staring at the back of the purple-haired beauty as if his eyes were about to fall out. Krillin said angrily, "Teacher Wu Tian, you are also the god of martial arts after all, so can't you pay attention to your image? HMPH, don't be so long-winded, you're talking to me when you're my age, when you're still a baby." Master Roshi said angrily. "But I think it's very difficult for you, Krillin, to find a wife." Faced with Master Roshi's counterattack, Krillin was also a little frustrated. Seeing that Son Goku already had a wife and concubines, he didn't even have a girlfriend. Unlike Yamcha, he is born with good external conditions, neither handsome nor tall, and has no money. Clint sighed, a little depressed. Yamcha patted him on the shoulder to comfort him, and now Yamcha has already overcome the problem of fear of women. In the past 3 years, he also talked with 2 girlfriends, and finally found that they were not as good as pu'er. Therefore, Yamcha put more energy into his practice, and he only has one goal, to defeat Son Goku, and to avenge his shame. HMPH, Goku, the 3-year agreement has come, and I am not what I used to be now, and you will definitely be shocked when the time comes. Really, Yamcha, you have indeed become a lot stronger, and Krillin, too. I really look forward to fighting with you. Son Goku also looked eager to try. Several people chatted casually, waiting for the game to start. Isn't this the old turtle? A discordant voice came from a distance. Son Goku and others turned their heads and saw 3 people walking in the distance, wearing the same color of clothing. It was a long green and yellow gown with a big crane written in black on a white background in the middle. The leader of the 3 was a thin, sinister old man with a goatee. He also wears a crane hat on his head, making him seem to be the same age as Master Roshi. The 2 people beside him, one is a burly man with a height of nearly 1.9 meters, and the other is a little guy who looks like a child. Even Piccolo Lin is shorter. Quote? Quote. Krillin suddenly felt that Son Goku seemed to be looking at him with disrespectful eyes, and he felt offended. What's wrong, Goku? Why are you looking at me like that? No. Nothing. Chapter 31. These 3 people Son Goku naturally also know. It is Hexenrin and his 2 apprentices, Tien Shinhan and Dumplings. Crane Immortal and Master Roshi come from the same school, and they are both disciples of Wu Taito, the master of martial arts. It's just that the 2 have different ideas about martial arts, and they both fell in love with Wu Taito's daughter Fangfang, so it is inevitable that there will be an open and secret fight. In the end, Crane Immortal was kicked out of the division, and Master Roshi failed to catch up with Fangfang. Oh, who am I? It turns out to be the Crane Immortal. I didn't expect you to be alive. Facing Master Roshi's counterattack, the beard on the corner of Crane Immortal's mouth twitched like a twitch. HMPH, you're still the same guy, you're ugly and have a poisonous mouth. Master Roshi looked indifferent, and taunted Crane Immortal. Even so what? It's better than not only being hated by Fangfang, but also being kicked out of the school. You old tortoise, didn't Fangfang also fall in love with you in the end? So what's the matter? At least I have been in love with Fangfang, and even touched little hands. Quote. The scars in He Xian's heart were uncovered, and some of them were on the verge of breaking their defenses. He was also single all his life, and Fangfang was a thorn in his heart. You old turtle, don't mention Fangfang in front of me. I will mention it as soon as I mention it. Quote. Crane Immortal forcibly resisted the urge to go up and beat up Master Roshi. You old tortoise is getting more and more shameless as you get older. Let me tell you, I'm here today too. Fangfang has been in love with me. Today I want to defeat. Fangfang has been in love with me. Defeat your group of Guixiangliu. Fangfang has been in love with me. You smelly and shameless old thing, there is no end, right? Crane Immortal couldn't take it anymore. He had to teach this old tortoise a lesson no matter what he said today. As soon as he rushed up, he grabbed Master Roshi's striking white beard. Naturally, Master Roshi did not show any weakness, and grabbed the crane head on the Crane Immortal's head with his backhand, trying to break it off abruptly. The 2 people who add up to more than 600 years old are huddled together like children of a few years old at this moment. Seeing this, Son Goku suddenly laughed and said, "You 2 have such a good relationship." Fart. Master Roshi and Crane Immortal replied in unison. Because of this delay, the 2 also let go of their hands at the same time, each tidying up their messy clothes. Crane Immortal regained his aloofness, coughed lightly and said, "In short, I just want to tell you that the only one who wins this world's number 1 martial arts competition is our Hexenliu disciple." Ha ha ha, I can't imagine that after hundreds of years, the Crane Immortal still likes to tell these low-level jokes. HMPH, shut up, old turtle, you still have the guts to say that. I heard that your disciple lost miserably to this person in the last martial arts tournament. Crane Immortal pointed to Son Goku and said, the unkindness in his eyes was vividly expressed. Teacher Wu Taito really has no vision. In the end, he chose you to be his successor, but he didn't realize that you had completely embarrassed him. Facing Crane Immortal's words, Krillin lowered his head in shame. In the last martial arts tournament, he was indeed defeated by Goku miserably. Master Roshi stepped forward and patted Krillin on the shoulder, then said earnestly, Kung Fu competitions are inherently won or lost, and the road to martial arts is endless, so the so-called victory or defeat is only temporary. Teacher Wu Tian. Hearing Master Roshi's words, Krillin cheered up again. In the past 3 years, he has also worked hard. Crane Immortal shook his head with disdain. HMPH, you are still the same, you only talk big words, you are stubborn. Anyway, I will let my two beloved disciples participate in this martial arts conference, so that the world can see what real martial arts are. The Crane Immortal stroked his goatee gently, and said proudly, the champion is none other than my apprentice, you should abstain quickly, so as not to be embarrassing in time. Crane Immortal didn't give Master Roshi a chance to fight back after he finished speaking, he turned and left. Before leaving, Tien Shinhan glanced at Son Goku's direction coldly, and then smiled provocatively. Obviously he didn't pay much attention to Master Roshi's two disciples Krillin and Yamcha, his only opponent was Son Goku. As Tien Shinhan and Dumpling left with Crane Immortal, Yamcha complained dissatisfiedly. Those three guys are really annoying, but it's okay, Master Yamcha, will do it. I will teach them a lesson when they meet me in the game. Quote. Facing the confident Yamcha, Master Roshi changed his normal routine and reminded him seriously. Don't be careless, that old fellow Crane Immortal still has some strength. Hearing what Master Roshi said, Yamcha suddenly remembered something. He said to Master Roshi. By the way, I saw the name of Immortal Crane when I registered just now, and he seems to have signed up for the competition. What? That old guy actually participated in the competition? Master Roshi showed surprise, and his face was very surprised. It's been a long time since Crane Immortal has practiced martial arts, and this time he participated in the competition for the first time. This is really the sun coming out from the west. Does he have some other purpose? I must not lose to him, otherwise I will be ashamed. Seeing Master Roshi's ugly face, Son Goku reminded. Master Roshi, didn't you just say that winning or losing is unimportant, winning or losing is only temporary? Why did you suddenly become nervous when you heard that Crane Immortal was also participating? HMPH. One moment at another, I won't lose to that old Crane Immortal. In the past 3 years, while Master Roshi has trained Yamcha and Kling, he has not let up, and now his combat effectiveness has improved a lot. Attention all contestants participating in the martial arts tournament, the qualifiers are about to begin, please gather at the martial arts gym immediately. Finally, it's time to start. Accompanied by the sound of the broadcast, the masters who participated in this martial arts tournament poured into the martial arts competition hall one after another, and suddenly, the outside of the hall became quite deserted. I didn't expect so many people to participate in this competition. Keelan looked at the mighty crowd, a little surprised. I'm really looking forward to it. No matter how many people come, I, Lord Yamcha, will not lose. You guys, I've said it all, don't be careless. Let's go. Kling, Yamcha, Master Roshi. Son Goku, Keelan, and Yamcha Master Roshi walked into the martial arts gym together. At this time, a lot of people have gathered inside, all of them are masters from all over the country. They are doing warm-up exercises in their respective ranges of motion, and everyone looks very strong. At this time, Keelan and Yamcha also took out the prepared Gaizen-style martial arts uniforms and put them on like no one else was there. Hee, how about it, Goku, the clothes of Gaizenryu are pretty cool. Keelan saw that Son Goku was still wearing casual clothes, and had a rare chance to show off. It's pretty good looking. Son Goku praised, the Gaizen Rundo suit is indeed classic. After Son Goku finished speaking, he took out a capsule and threw it out. With a bang, the white smoke dissipated, and a suit of clothes appeared from inside. The appearance of the clothes is very similar to Guixianliu's clothes, but the color of the clothes has changed from red to orange, and there is also a blue short-sleeved inner layer. On the orange coat, there are many carefully designed patterns by Bulma, and even the turtle character on the chest has been replaced with enlightenment. The overall look is better than the original style. Your dress is too cool. Keelan said enviously. He thought he could show off his martial arts uniform. After all, Son Goku didn't have his own martial arts uniform in the last competition. Of course, this is specially prepared by Bulma for me. Although it is just a set of clothes, it uses the latest technology and materials. It is not only very light, but also more flexible. After hearing this, Keelan and Yamcha couldn't help but stepped forward and touched it. Sure enough, the clothes on Son Goku were as thin as cicada's wings, and they were icy and cool, very comfortable. Compared with his, the martial arts uniform he was wearing was like a rag. Goku, you boy. Krillin was even more envious now. He jumped up and grabbed Son Goku's collar with a tragic expression on his face. Yamcha also secretly asked in a low voice, Goku, honestly, how did you catch up with Bulma? I also want to have such a rich woman. Good guy, do you also want to avoid decades of detours? Can I tell you it's because of my Saiyan 24 cm ruler? However, if the original development is followed, Krillin doesn't have to envy her at all, the eternal goddess of number 18. On the contrary, it was Yamcha, who actually had only power around him in the Dragon Ball era, which made Son Goku wonder if it was Yamcha's special hobby. After all, possessing the transformation technique is equivalent to possessing everything, even cockroaches and mice can try it. What are you guys talking about? Master Roshi came out from the toilet. At this moment, he put on a black wig on his bald hair, and his clothes changed into a black martial arts uniform. Teacher Wushin, do you have to dress like this? As soon as he entered the martial arts gym, Master Roshi said that he was going to the bathroom to dress up, but unexpectedly, he even arranged a wig. HMPH, don't be so long-winded. If others know that I'm a god of martial arts, I'm just a bad old man with no hair, how can I meet people? Yamcha said with a look of disbelief, Teacher Wushin, you are not afraid of being defeated by the Crane Immortal, so you dress up like this. Shut up, Master Roshi said angrily, if you talk nonsense again, be careful I'll break your leg. Several people were talking and laughing, their relaxed appearance attracted the attention of the people around them. Especially Son Goku, who was the champion of the last Budo tournament. That competition is still vivid in my memory. Son Goku looked more than adequate from the preliminaries to the finals, and he didn't seem to show his full strength at all. Hopefully I don't face Son Goku in the first round. HMPH, idiot, besides Son Goku, the two people beside him were also the runner-up and the third runner-up in the previous competition, and they are also very good. That's right, these guys jump as high as a dozen floors, it's outrageous. I wonder if it's for the sake of the competition, springs are installed under the competition stage in the final. But the old guy next to the three of them looks easy to bully. Hey, it's not me. This old guy, if I punch him down, I have to beg him not to die. Quote. As time passed, more and more people were in the martial arts competition hall, and a fat monk came out, and he was the person in charge of this qualifier. Everyone has worked hard. Thank you all for coming from all over the world to participate in the 22nd world number. 310 people. However, there are still only 8 people who can enter the next round of competition, so please don't underestimate the enemy and show your strongest strength. After he finished speaking, everyone formally lined up and started grouping. Coincidentally, the 4 of them are no longer in the same group. Great, finally we didn't meet Goku in the first round, so we can meet in the final. Krillin drew number 71, and according to the rules, he was in the second group. The martial arts competition rules of the number 1 Budokai in the world, the competition is in the form of one-on-one. In the competition on the stage, the loser is the one who falls off the competition stage or passes out and surrenders. It is forbidden to use weapons, and it is also forbidden to kill people. The first one to play was Yamcha. Now he is naturally stronger after the practice of Gaizenryu, and he can solve the opponent with just one punch. He looked at Goku proudly and said, "How about it, Goku, are you scared? This is the result of my special training. To be honest, I won easily without even exerting a tenth of my strength." Really, that's pretty powerful. Goku looked calm. Then Krillin also entered the field, and opposite him was a slovenly burly man with a height of 3 meters. The strong man exuded a disgusting stench all over his body. It is said that he had never bathed since he was born. Not to mention Krillin on the stage, even the audience in the audience couldn't help but shy away. Seeing that Kling was being forced to retreat steadily and didn't know what to do, Son Goku reminded from the audience. "Kling, did you forget? You don't have a nose at all." Krillin reacted instantly, "That's right, I don't have a nose." After thinking it over, he easily threw the slovenly man out of the arena. Seeing Krillin's flowing movements, Goku couldn't help but praise. "Krillin, you are really amazing, much better than you were 3 years ago." Krillin was also very proud, of course. "Maybe Goku, you will really be defeated by me this time." Just when the few people were happy, a discordant voice sounded from the side, and it was the trio of Hexian Liu who came. HMPH, but this level of self-satisfaction is simply ridiculous. It was Tian Xinhan who spoke, and just now he easily broke one of his opponent's arms to win. Who do you look down on? Just pray you don't get drawn with me, Uncle Yamcha. HMPH, you overestimate yourself. I'll let you know the gap between the two of us. Tian Xinhan laughed with a cold expression, and then whispered softly to the dumpling beside him. If that guy advances to the quarterfinals, I'm going to face him. Okay, Tianjin-san. With the departure of Tian Xinhan and others, Son Goku's game will also begin. Coincidentally, his first opponent was none other than the purple-haired beauty, Lan Fang. Lan Fang slowly walked onto the stage, feeling a little depressed. She didn't expect such bad luck. The opponent in the first round was Son Goku, the champion of the previous martial arts competition. It seems that there is no way to defeat him without sacrificing a little bit. After Lan Fang made up her mind, she winked at Son Goku and said charmingly, "Little handsome guy, you don't want to get hurt by a beautiful girl like me, do you? If you can get me to win this game, I'll." Lan Fang twisted her slender waist, looking extremely seductive. With that appearance, she wished she could just give her room card and tell her the room number. In order to win, she can do whatever it takes. For a person like her, the body is sometimes the best weapon. However, it is a pity that if she faces Master Roshi or Yamcha, she can only say that there is hope. Son Goku is not the kind of person who can be dismissed only by verbal promises, at least his interest in Lan Fang is not just in words. Seeing Son Goku's unmoved look, Lan Fang bit her delicate red lips. No matter what, she will defeat the man in front of her and win the championship. She didn't hesitate anymore, and took off her coat directly, revealing a close-fitting short sleeve underneath. Now her snow-white skin and slim figure were all exposed to the air. Master Roshi in the audience couldn't hold back his eyes were straight. Why is her opponent not me? Quote. Even Goku was slightly taken aback by Lan Fang's operation. It was in this brief gap that Lan Fang's eyes suddenly became sharp, and then her small body burst out with astonishing strength in an instant. In just a few blinks, she quickly moved in front of Son Goku, raised her foot mercilessly, and kicked Son Goku in the stomach. There was an ear-piercing sound of piercing the air with this kick, and Krillin in the audience was also a little surprised. Unexpectedly, this Lan Fang actually hid this kind of strength. It seems that she is not just putting on airs, no, in other words, Lan Fang's strength is much stronger than most of the contestants in the field. Yamcha on the side also thought in his heart, if he faced this sudden kick, even if he could barely dodge it, he would probably lose his position and she would find an opportunity to continue attacking. As expected, women are all secretive and cunning, and poorer is much better. The fact is exactly the same. Lan Fang's explosive attack, if it is an ordinary Earth person, will directly lose the combat effectiveness 100%, but unfortunately, she is facing Son Goku. Facing Lan Fang's attack, Son Goku didn't panic at all, just turned slightly sideways and dodged. Then he reached out with one hand and grabbed Lan Fang's snow-white thigh that was still frozen in midair and had no time to retract. I just feel that there is no silk at the beginning, but it is extremely silky. Lan Fang was caught by her leg, and no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't get her leg back. She felt Son Goku's big and powerful hand. Seeing this scene, Lan Fang didn't hesitate, and waved her pink fists to attack Son Goku's face. She wanted to use this blow to force Son Goku to let go of her hand, but this time, she was held tightly by Son Goku's other hand. In this way, Lan Fang showed a single-legged independent posture on the competition stage, unable to advance or retreat, and looked a little embarrassing. She gritted her teeth and looked at Son Goku angrily. But Son Goku still looked calm. He was not only smiling, but also very gentle, which made Lan Fang feel a little flustered for a while. After all, who doesn't like someone who is handsome and strong? But when she thought of tens of millions of bonuses, Lan Fang didn't want to give up, she just burst into tears. You hurt me by scratching. Seeing her delicate face, Goku let go of her hands and feet, but touched her again before leaving, and it was indeed silky smooth. Lan Fang saw that her plan had succeeded. She smiled secretly, and suddenly got angry, and punched Son Goku in the stomach. This time, Son Goku did not resist, but let her attack wantonly. It's just that as soon as Lan Fang's fist landed on Son Goku's chest, she herself let out a scream. Son Goku's body was made of unknown. Lan Fang punched down. Not only Goku was not injured, but her own arm was also broken. This time it was really painful and shed tears. Seeing this, Son Goku smiled embarrassedly. I forgot that I am too strong now, Miss Lan Fang, I'm sorry. After all, he took out a fairy bean and gave it to Lan Fang, telling her that if she ate it, her arm would be back to normal. Lan Fang took Shondo and looked at it, with a confused face. Is this something you can eat on the tournament stage? The referee flipped through the booklet, and it didn't say that you can't eat during the competition, so it was reasonable. Lan Fang tried to eat the fairy beans, and after the crisp sound of cracking, sure enough, the broken arm healed. She looked happy. That bean is amazing. Do you have any more beans? Facing Lan Fang's inquiry, Goku said generously, of course there are more, but these beans are very precious and cannot be given away. Then, how can you give it to me? Lan Fang had already thought in her mind that if this kind of beans were sold, they would be worth a lot. It's very simple, barter for barter, bean for bean. My, beans, quote. Lan Chi didn't expect Goku to be so direct, and he couldn't help but said angrily, I'm not the kind of casual person you think. Do you want to bribe me with a rotten bean? Son Goku wasn't angry either. After some contests, he had clearly grasped Lan Fang's character, and now he only needed to throw the corresponding chips. That Lan Fang, my wife is Bulma, the richest man in the world, with a bride price of 100 million, understand? Quote. Referee, I abstain, I won't fight anymore. Lan Fang consciously raised her hand and surrendered. One bean can't buy her off, but 100 million is fine. And the punch she punched Goku just now clearly felt the strong abs on his body. She must be very good at doing push-ups. It just so happened that I practiced squats every day for this competition, isn't it a coincidence? Sometimes, the outcome doesn't have to be decided on the competition stage, it can be done in other places. Immediately, Lan Fang walked down holding Goku's arm very intimately, because it was too close. Goku could still feel Lan Fang's majesty. Everyone in the audience was stunned. Is this a martial arts competition or a blind date? What's the situation? The Son Goku player in the number 1 ring is in a relationship with his opponent, Miss Lan Fang, arm in arm. Goku. Krillin couldn't hide the shock in his eyes, and he thought to himself. I didn't expect there to be such a way to win. Quote. The eyes of Master Roshi, whose alias is Jackie Chan, are full of jealousy. I saw this Miss Lan Fang first. But she hasn't married Son Goku yet, maybe she will like my type. As the two walked off the stage, Master Roshi immediately went up to meet him and introduced himself. Hello, Miss Lan Fang, my name is Jackie Chan, and I am a very powerful martial artist. Oh, Lan Chi answered very perfunctorily. It could be seen that she had no interest in Master Roshi at all. At this time Lan Fang's whole body was already in the shape of Son Goku. But Master Roshi still didn't give up, he was stalking. Seeing this, Lan Fang impatiently said to Goku. Goku, who the hell is this old man? Before Goku could answer, Master Roshi answered first. Don't look at me looking very old, but I'm actually his younger brother. Quote. Next, the exciting qualifiers lasted for half a day. Faced with these players, Son Goku and his team didn't spend much effort on most of them, and solved them easily. As a result, the promotion list for this world's number 1 martial arts conference has also been determined. They are Son Goku, Master Roshi, Yamcha, Kling, Dumpling, Tien Shinhan, Crane Immortal and King Choppa. King Choppa lost to Son Goku in the last martial arts tournament. Before that, he had won the championship several times in a row. But in the last competition, they didn't even get a 3rd place. So he was very resentful towards Son Goku, with a bad look on his face. However, even if they want to take revenge, it's not today. Firstly, the physical strength of the players is exhausted, and secondly, it's getting late. Therefore, the match of the quarterfinals is scheduled for tomorrow. A group of people walked out of the venue separately. When Son Goku entered, he was alone, but when he came out, there were 2 people. He took Lan Fang's little hand and walked out. Bulma and Lan Chi, who were waiting to face each other, naturally saw it from a distance. A pretty girl with purple hair was leaning her head on Son Goku's shoulder with a sweet face. Bulma was helpless, but she knew it in her heart. Son Goku and Bulma had communicated long ago that for the revival of Saiyan, it will only be a matter of time before he has a group of wives and concubines in the future. For this reason, he also assured Bulma that no matter how much he marries, he will never reduce his love for Bulma. After thinking about it, Bulma stepped forward generously, and took Son Goku's other arm involuntarily. Son Goku was still thinking about how to explain to Bulma, but he didn't expect that Bulma didn't even ask, but said affectionately, "Son Jun, what do you want to eat tonight?" To be honest, Son Goku was quite moved, but Bulma was unexpectedly so good. Like him, he is very considerate. As for what to eat tonight, Son Goku thought about it. It didn't matter, the most important thing was to find a quiet place to rest for the night. It would be better if the sound insulation effect is better, and he also needs to discuss the true meaning of wuxue with Ms. Lan Fang. For Son Goku's requirements, Bulma naturally satisfied all of them, and she directly booked a big villa. Let alone a martial arts exchange, even if you yell out your throat, you won't be disturbed by anyone. Quote. Under the leadership of Bulma, several people came to a villa covering an area of nearly 1,000 square meters. The house is already full of delicious food. What mountain delicacies, lobster and abalone, everything, countless. But there are only 3 of them. These foods can almost catch up with the servings of 20 people. Faced with Bulma's wealth, Lan Fang was also very surprised. Although she had heard about Bulma, the richest man in the western capital, she hadn't expected to be so rich. What is she working so hard every day and every night for? Isn't it just for the 30 million prize money for the champion of this martial arts tournament? Now Lan Fang finally understood what the gold content of technology is. Seeing Lan Fang's unbelievable expression, Son Goku smiled slightly and said softly, "It's too early for you to be surprised. Now, let's eat it at night." Quote. Naturally, Lan Fang didn't understand anything like the black-haired Lan Chi. She had no father or mother since she was a child, and was born in an orphanage, so she came into contact with society early. In order to survive, she humiliated herself and kept making herself stronger. At the same time, she gradually learned how to use her most powerful weapon. But she might not believe it when she said it, but she seemed to be very casual, but she was only limited to defrauding some financial affairs by tempting the other party. There was no further communication. But facing Son Goku in front of her, she felt different this time. On the one hand, it is because of money. After all, who can refuse the freedom of wealth? On the other hand, she can see a sense of reliability in Son Goku. It seems that as long as he is here, I don't have to worry about anything anymore. This is exactly the security she needs. It's just that Lan Fang didn't expect that. She thought that as long as she was willing to let go, what else could she not swallow? Pity. It seems that I have underestimated Son Goku. The bigger the wind and waves, the more fish there will be. Lan Fang finally couldn't help but exclaimed, "Goku, are you crazy? Aren't you going to participate in the tournament tomorrow?" "I know. Then shouldn't you have a good rest and sleep now? It's almost dawn, you haven't rested for a while." I feel bad." Son Goku scratched his head, then said calmly, "But I'm not tired." Quote. "I'm tired." Son Goku understood. It turned out that Lan Fang hadn't rested after today's martial arts competition, and the discussion and exchange of martial arts between the two of them was really exhausting. After thinking about it, he let Lan Fang take a good rest, and now he can't sleep at all. Why don't he ask Bulma and Lan Chi next door to have a midnight snack in the house? The next morning, when a few people went out, it was already 9 o'clock in the morning. There is still an hour until the game. Although the supper last night was delicious, it could only quench thirst, not hunger. So in the morning, Son Goku ate a lot of food to fill his stomach, which delayed a little time. Fortunately, this villa is very close to the martial arts competition hall, and the 4 of Son Goku arrived in a short while. At this time, Master Roshi, Yamcha, and Krillin naturally waited here early. Seeing Son Goku and the 3 of Bulma behind him, especially Lanfang now seems to have a slightly different feeling from yesterday. How should I put it? It seems that it looks more mature and attractive. In addition to Son Goku's contribution, Lanfang's own efforts are also responsible for all this. She is a martial arts practitioner, and the flexibility of her body is unmatched by Bulma and Lan Chi, so even if it is some very special martial arts, she can cooperate very well. Son Goku also praised Lanfang's martial arts talent very much. Come on for the game later, Son Jun. Before entering the field, Bulma kissed Son Goku on the cheek, giving him a loving encouragement. Master Roshi at the side shed tears of envy again. I want to be encouraged too. Master Roshi leaned forward, and what greeted him was naturally a slap from Bulma. Now Bulma also has a little exercise for Son Goku. This slap directly slapped Master Roshi's face swollen. It seems that it will not go away for a while. Are you kidding? Why is Bulma so serious? Master Roshi covered the hot slap mark on his face, and followed Son Goku and his group into the martial arts gym to prepare for today's lottery. Coincidentally, at this time his deadly rival, Immortal Crane, also walked in. Seeing the red mark on Master Roshi's face, Crane Immortal knew what happened without thinking. He sneered mercilessly, HMPH, old pervert, you are too old to be ashamed, so you're molesting girls again. You deserve to be beaten. Master Roshi knew he was in the wrong, but it would be fine if others mocked him, but Immortal Crane. How can you bear it? Stop rambling, big dumb Crane, if you meet me in a while, I will beat you all over the floor looking for your teeth. Oh, it's funny how you speak so boldly. Immortal Crane looked very calm, as if he had full confidence. Dumpling, who was standing by the side, saw Krillin, who was so rare that he was about the same height as him, stepped forward and said sarcastically. I didn't expect that even a bald man like you could pass the preliminary round. Aren't you bald yourself? Krillin retorted. HMPH, I'm not bald. After the dumpling finished speaking, she took off the hat on her head very proudly. I saw a hair standing on the bald head shining brightly. Quote. Krillin looked at the thriving appearance on the top of Jiaozi's head, and said angrily. You only have one hair, what's the big deal? You're envious, aren't you? I envy the fart. Krillin became even angrier when he saw Jiaozi's calm expression. Obviously everyone is bald and short, but you still despise me. Just as Kling was about to fight back, the referee's voice happened to sound. Please draw lots to decide the order of the battle, and the players who are called come over and draw lots in turn. There is no quarrel between the few people now. If there is any conflict, we will see the outcome on the competition stage. Under the instruction of Crane Immortal, Jiaozi used superpowers to tamper with the lottery. In this way, the 22nd Martial Arts Conference officially kicked off, and the battle sequence is as follows. The first game, Tien Shinhan vs. Yamcha. In the second round, Master Roshi played against Crane Immortal. In the third game, Krillin vs. Dumplings. Game 4, Goku vs. King Chaba. The venue for the competition was a square competition arena outside the martial arts hall. The surroundings of the competition arena were already surrounded by spectators. These people came early to fill up the seats for today's final. Hey, if that's the case, we won't be able to see Goku and their match later on. Lan Fang looked at the sea of people in front of him, and there was no gap in the solid human wall. In this way, you can't see the situation on the stage at the end at all. Bulma smiled mysteriously, and had already thought of a solution. She pulled out one of her own hairs, and put it in front of Lan Chi's nose, only to hear a crisp sneeze. The brunette Lan Chi directly transformed into a blonde. She took out a submachine gun from nowhere in her hand, and fired directly at the sky. If you don't want to die, let me get out of the way. Quote. The instinctive desire to survive made the already immovable human wall split a path wisely in an instant. Led by Lan Chi, Bulma and Lan Fang walked to the front row with ease. It still has a good view here, thank you, Lan Chi. HMPH, a small matter. Looking at Lan Chi, who suddenly became very violent in front of her eyes, Lan Fang also understood why Son Goku told herself yesterday that she is not the best one yet, and she still needs to work harder. Thinking about it, the blonde Lan Chi should have a very high fighting power. Boom boom boom. Accompanied by the sound of a gong beating, a referee in a suit with a blonde back and sunglasses came out. After intense qualifiers, we finally selected 8 contestants from hundreds of masters. These 8 contestants will compete in a knockout round. Who will win the title of number 1 in the world and a prize of 30 million yuan? It's really exciting. The world's number 1 martial arts tournament is about to begin. Let us invite Tian Xinhan and Yamcha for the first match. Amid deafening cheers from the audience, Tian Xinhan and Yamcha appeared simultaneously and walked towards the ring. What a pity. I didn't expect you to touch me in the first battle, my master Yamcha. Today I will teach you a hard lesson. Yamcha was still as confident as ever. Come on, Master Yamcha. Pu'er flew down on a branch to cheer for Yamcha. Tian Xinhan showed disdain for Yamcha's words, he didn't take Yamcha seriously at all. At this time, Tian Xinhan has been trained more rigorously by Crane Immortals, so his strength is stronger than before. Yamcha is a disciple of Master Roshi, the famous god of martial arts. He was also the runner-up player who narrowly lost to Goku in the last competition. I believe he will perform better this time. Contestant Tian Xinhan is a disciple of Crane Immortal named after Master Roshi. He is different from ordinary people and has 3 eyes. He must have extraordinary strength. This is really a fight between dragons and tigers. Hearing the referee's introduction, the audience was also amazed. Unexpectedly, the first match was a contest between the legendary Master Roshi and the disciples of Crane Immortal. The force of this martial arts tournament went up in no time. Everyone is looking forward to the excitement of this game. Okay, let's start the game. As the referee's voice fell, Yamcha sneered and launched an attack directly. Start with a set of spike wind fist. Yamcha pounced on Tian Xinhan like a wolf, and after a dazzling attack, he was easily defended by Tian Xinhan. Only then did Yamcha understand that Tian Xinhan does have some strength. Without hesitation, he directly opened the distance and repositioned his posture. This time it was his latest developed trick. New Spike Wind Fist. Compared with before, the power is stronger and the speed is faster. Yamcha attacked Tian Xinhan with a wolf tooth bite. It seemed as if 4 or 5 wolves appeared in front of Tian Xinhan in an instant. Regarding this, Tian Xinhan was very calm, looked around with his third eye, drew palms with both hands as fists, and hit the wolf teeth with several shots. A wolf without fangs loses its power. But Yamcha's offensive did not stop, and a new spike appeared. In just a few moments, the two sides had already exchanged more than 20 moves. Tian Xinhan gradually mastered Yamcha's offensive rhythm, found a flaw, and threw out a punch, right on Yamcha's chest. Yamcha was sent flying and landed heavily on the competition platform. But Yamcha's face showed unwillingness. Obviously he had already undergone very rigorous training. How could it be this result? He is not reconciled. Yamcha stood up, looked at the direction of Goku with firm eyes, then suddenly smiled and said in his heart, "Goku, look, this move was meant to be used against you." Then he squatted down, combined his upper and lower hands, and assumed a classic posture. Turtle, it's Kamehameha. Son Goku recognized it, and he was naturally very familiar with this move. As Master Roshi's famous stunt, through Dragon Ball's magical skill. Unexpectedly, Yamcha will do it now. Krillin on the side seemed surprised. Yeah. When did Yamcha learn it? I'm even better than him. Master Roshi hit Krillin's head hard on the side. Isn't it because your kid is always sneaking, cheating, and sneaking through the books and periodicals I keep in the cabinet every 3 days? Krillin showed embarrassment. There was no way. Who made him have neither oolong nor pu'er? But one thing Krillin has to admit is that Yamcha has indeed worked harder than him in the past 3 years. With the belief in defeating Son Goku, he has been practicing desperately. On the field, Yamcha's ki blast has been fully charged, and a dazzling beam of light shoots out from his hand as his voice falls. Facing the powerful light waves, Tian Xinhan rarely showed a dignified expression. I saw him clasping his palms together, sticking his 2 index fingers together, concentrating all the energy in his body. What is he going to do? I'm afraid Tian Xinhan is trying to resist Kamehameha. Son Goku saw what Tian Xinhan was thinking. How can this be? Krillin on the side expressed disbelief. That is Kamehameha who can level a mountain. But the fact turned out to be as Son Goku expected. Yamcha's Kamehameha couldn't hurt Tian Xinhan at all. He even bounced back all the remaining power with Tien Shinhan's angry shout. Yamcha looked at the scene in front of him. He never thought that the strength of the two sides would be so disparate. In a panic, he chose to jump high to avoid being bounced by Ki Blast. But this fell right into Tien Shinhan's plan. Behind Yamcha was Tien Shinhan, who had been waiting in the sky for a long time. HMPH, mediocrity, it's over. Tien Shinhan's voice came from behind Yamcha, and before he could react, a series of attacks hit Yamcha. Yamcha's body was powerless to resist in midair, and was hit hard by Tien Shinhan and fell to the ground. A deep hole was smashed out, showing a lying posture like a world-famous painting. But obviously Tien Shinhan didn't intend to let him go, and fell directly from a high altitude and then stepped on Yamcha's knee joint. Crack! Yamcha was so painful that he passed out and his whole leg was deformed. "Ya, Master Yamcha!" Puer from the audience flew up desperately. But no matter how he yelled, Yamcha couldn't wake up. The audience, who were still feeling that the game was so exciting, also condemned Tien Shinhan for being too cruel. It's just a martial arts competition, as for breaking a human leg. Do you want to abolish Yamcha's future martial arts path? Of course, Tien Shinhan didn't care about it. According to the teaching of Crane Immortal, only victory is everything. "Hey, referee, haven't you announced the result yet?" Quote. The referee stepped forward to confirm that Yamcha was not dead, but passed out from pain. Although he is not ashamed of what Tien Shinhan did, but his conduct as a referee still allowed him to announce the result. Contestant Yamcha passed out, and the victor in this match is contestant Tien Shinhan. HMPH. Tien Shinhan sneered and left the competition ring. Seeing this, Krillin rushed to Yamcha's side to check and confirm the facts. "Yamcha's leg is useless. Woo, Goku, what should I do? Although today's Son Goku is not a disciple of Master Roshi. But I don't know why Krillin trusts Son Goku very much, and has an indescribable affection, as if the two are friends who have known each other for a long time." Son Goku stepped forward and generously took out a fairy bean and handed it to Puer. "After Yamcha wakes up and eat it, he'll be fine." Really? Puer broke down in tears at this moment. He was very worried that Master Yamcha would have an accident. "Don't worry, this is the fairy bean, which can restore Yamcha to its original state." After getting a positive reply from Son Goku, Puer thanked again and again. Thank you, Goku-sama." With Krillin's help, Puer turned into a flying carpet and finally transported Yamcha to the infirmary specially prepared for the players. The organizer sent people up to fill up the hole that was smashed on the ground. Seeing that the next game was about to start, Son Goku and Krillin walked back to meet Tien Shinhan, who had been waiting there early. "Son Goku, my next target is you." "Okay, I'll wait for you." Son Goku's eyes changed suddenly as he spoke, as if a powerful arrogance was about to emerge from his eyes. Just for a moment, Tien Shinhan felt a shocking horror. It was an unprecedented sense of oppression sweeping towards him. It seems that what Tien Shinhan is facing at this moment is not a human being but a gigantic beast. When Tien Shinhan woke up and looked at Son Goku again, he saw that Son Goku didn't seem to do anything, just looked at him with a smile on his calm face. Tien Shinhan forced himself to return to the Crane Immortal with a cold snort. The feeling just now must be correct. In that short moment, his body was already sweating uncontrollably. When did my dignified Tien Shinhan become so cowardly, to be frightened by that guy's look? At this moment, the Crane Immortal didn't notice anything wrong with Tien Shinhan. He still looked at Master Roshi very proudly and said happily, "See, old turtle, do you know the strength of our Hexianliu disciples? You Guixianliu are completely vulnerable, and Tien Shinhan's strength is far more than that." Master Roshi didn't get angry this time. He was very calm. He didn't pay attention to Crane Immortal, but said to Tien Shinhan in a flat tone, "It's not necessarily a good thing for young people to be too aggressive." Tien Shinhan doesn't know why Master Roshi suddenly said this to himself, but now he is only thinking about how to defeat Son Goku later. The second match of the world's number 1 martial arts tournament is about to begin. Let us welcome Crane Immortal and Jackie Chan. The Crane Immortal smiled provocatively at Master Roshi. HMPH, old turtle, don't blame senior brother for being too aggressive later on. Speaking of which, we haven't fought each other for almost 300 years. You didn't dare to use your real name when you came to participate in the competition. This is really in line with your timid way of doing things, old turtle. As soon as the two entered the arena, Master Roshi was mercilessly mocked by the crane immortal. Stop rambling, old bald crane, I'm just here to train my apprentices, it's not the same as your purposeful one. Master Roshi said, looking in the direction of Son Goku, and then continued. In addition, old bald crane, the era belonging to Master Roshi and Crane Immortal has long since ended. HMPH, it's ridiculous. A hint of anger arose on the Crane Immortal's face, and he put on a posture to retort. If that's the case, I will let everyone remember how powerful the Crane Immortal Lu is. And how powerful I am, the Crane Immortal. Seeing the appearance of the Crane Immortal, Master Roshi could only helplessly shake his head, and he also put on a posture. Since the words don't make sense, he can only see the truth with his hands. Master Roshi slowly walked to the other side of the competition stage. He will use his strength to prove the strength of Guixiangliu. Unexpectedly, after so many years, our brothers and sisters still have the opportunity to compete. Master Roshi suddenly felt a little emotional. He seems to have returned to the days when he was studying with teacher Wu Tato. In terms of talent, Master Roshi is indeed not as good as Crane Immortal, but the young Master Roshi had a foolish spirit. With hard work, he finally succeeded in winning teacher Wu Tato's favor. Junior brother, I will remind you of my terror. Game start. As soon as the referee finished speaking, Crane Immortal first attacked, and he attacked Master Roshi in front of him. Seeing this, Master Roshi didn't dare to be careless, so he jumped up vigorously and avoided the attack. Crane Immortal sneered at the corner of his mouth, as if he had expected it a long time ago. The moment the attack failed, his soles of his feet exerted strength, and he jumped up and chased after Master Roshi in the sky. Master Roshi didn't expect the Crane Immortal to react so quickly with an old bone. Just as he was about to attack the Crane Immortal below him, he saw that the Crane Immortal had already kicked him in the air. Seeing that this kick is inevitable, if it hits this kick, Master Roshi will definitely fly out of the field and lose. In desperation, Master Roshi put his hands together up and down, and a small Kamehameha came out from his hands, causing his figure in the air to move and avoid the flying kick of the Crane Immortal. This time, it was Crane Immortal who was dodged because of the attack, and had no time to retract his legs, and now his whole body is full of flaws. Drink! Master Roshi yelled angrily, and then punched Crane Immortal fiercely. This punch was powerful enough to make Crane Immortal fly out of the arena. Win! Krillin looked very excited. He didn't expect to defeat Xianliu so easily. Son Goku shook his head and said softly, it's not that simple. Sure enough, as Son Goku expected, Crane Immortal didn't panic after being knocked into the air. Instead, after he took a deep breath, the figure that was flying upside down suddenly froze in midair. Then the Crane Immortal quickly headed towards the direction where Master Roshi fell again. This is... Krillin was amazed and somewhat incomprehensible. How did he use his strength to freely control the direction in the air? Goku on the side explained, it's not aerial power, it's flying technique. Flying technique. Tien Shinhan was quite surprised when he heard Son Goku say flying technique. Unexpectedly, there are other people who know the existence of flying technique. It seems that you have some strength to win the championship of the last martial arts tournament. Goku ignored Tien Shinhan, but went on to explain to Krillin, flying technique is a unique martial art of Surusen Ryu, which can make the body suspend in the air through chi. Krillin was very surprised when he heard it, and asked, Goku, how do you know it so clearly? Do you also know that flying technique? Hee. Goku smiled, but didn't speak. Behind him, Tien Shinhan's eyes were fixed on Goku, and Son Goku's calm attitude always made him feel more stressed. In his heart, the Goku in front of him was like a mountain pressing down on him. It seemed impossible to get over it. What's wrong with you, Tianjin sang? Dumpling asked worriedly. Tien Shinhan shook his head. He is the strongest disciple of Crane Shanliu, he must not lose. No, it's nothing. Look, Master is going to defeat that Jackie Chan. On the competition stage, Crane Immortal escaped Master Roshi's volley kick through the flying technique, and then quickly leaned over and flew away before Master Roshi landed, and hit the falling Master Roshi's face with an elbow. Roshi was slammed heavily on the ring. It hurts, it hurts. Master Roshi cried out in pain, and then slowly got up. He murmured. As I get older, some movements slow down. Just now, if it was Master Roshi when he was young, he would naturally be able to dodge it, but now it is very difficult. But fortunately, being older also has its advantages. The longer one lives, the stronger one's chi will be, and the more proficient in controlling chi. Therefore, at the moment of Crane Immortal's attack, Master Roshi defended with the chi in his body. Although it was indeed painful, it did not cause too much damage. Only, look, Crane Immortal flew up. Oh my god, he actually flew in the air. How should Jackie Chan fight back now? He can fly. If only I could fly, so the food delivery won't be overtime. Quote. The host took the microphone to analyze the situation on the field. The current situation is that the Crane Immortal can fly, but Master Roshi cannot. This means that the initiative to attack is completely in the hands of Immortal Crane. Seeing this, Master Roshi couldn't hide anymore. He squatted down and put on a posture. Turtle. Group. Jackie Chan took the exact same pose as Yamcha. Could it be that he is also shooting a strange beam? Gas. Achievement. Sure enough, a white light wave was emitted from Master Roshi's hand, which was the same in appearance as Yamcha's, except that his was bigger and thicker. Oh my god, how should Immortal Crane react? HMPH. Crane Immortal snorted coldly, then stretched out a finger. He shouted angrily. Dong dong bo. Seeing that a white light also emitted from Crane Immortal's finger, it was heading towards Kamehameha, and two air waves collided fiercely in midair. Oh my god, the Crane Immortal can also emit white light waves. Who will win, the Crane Immortal or Wu Tian? Not only the referee was surprised, but the audience off the field also showed incredible expressions. After all, they can fly in the air and emit terrifying light waves, which far exceeds their cognition. It's a blindfold, everything is a blindfold. At this time, a man with explosive hair in a brown martial arts uniform pointed at the martial arts arena and shouted angrily. This is not martial arts at all, they must have put some kind of mechanism on the competition stage in advance. Hey, how do you know that they installed a mechanism instead of real skills? Faced with other people's doubts, the man in the brown martial arts suit patted his chest and said, "That's because I'm also a martial artist. Since you are a martial Taoist, why don't you take part in the competition? I competed and just got eliminated." Quote. The two light waves on the field were still entangled, both sides exerted their best, and neither one was willing to give in. Old guy. Accompanied by the sound of Crane Immortal shouting angrily, two light waves exploded in the air at the same time. Immediately afterwards, the figures of Master Roshi and Crane Immortal flashed at the same time, and they both disappeared instantly under the envelope of white light waves. All of a sudden, the audience including the referees could only hear the sound of fighting from all over the arena, but there was no one in sight. Where did people go? Why didn't they disappear? Goku and Krillin looked at the place where the fast-moving Master Roshi was fighting with the Crane Immortal, and it could be seen from their expressions that the fight between Master Roshi and the Crane Immortal was very exciting. Tien Shinhan in the distance can also see clearly. The dumplings are more reluctant, he has a worried look on his face. Tianjin sang, "Don't worry, Master will definitely win." Goku, do you see who has the upper hand? Son Goku said flatly, the two are evenly matched. On the competition stage, the figures of Crane Immortal and Master Roshi finally reappeared. The two exchanged fists and were engaged in a power confrontation. Master Roshi saw that Crane Immortal's movements slowed down a bit, raised his leg and swept out, and kicked Crane Immortal's chest. Okay, Goku, hit. Son Goku didn't answer Krillin, but still looked at the competition stage with a serious expression. What's wrong, Goku? HMPH, little dwarf, take a closer look. With the voice of Tien Shinhan, the Crane Immortal kicked by Master Roshi on the competition stage turned into a phantom. Then the real Crane Immortal appeared behind Master Roshi, kicked Master Roshi flying, and crashed into the wall behind the arena. Before the referee could count, Master Roshi had already stood up. Afterimage fist. It seems I was careless. HMPH, I told you, junior brother, you can't beat me. Master Roshi ignored him, but moved his body on his own, and attacked again. This time, Immortal Crane took the opportunity to punch Master Roshi in the face, but it was an afterimage. Master Roshi can also do the afterimage punch. The Crane Immortal showed disdain, and it seemed that he had already arrived. Sure enough, when Master Roshi appeared behind the Crane Immortal and kicked him out, the Crane Immortal also turned into an afterimage. You are still too young, junior brother. The figure of the Crane Immortal once again appeared in front of Master Roshi's defenseless front. He punched Master Roshi's chest. Just when Crane Immortal was proud, he suddenly felt something was wrong, the touch of this fist. Before Crane Immortal could react, he was sent flying by a powerful force from the right, and also smashed into the wall of the competition platform. Double afterimage fist. Master Roshi calmly appeared on the arena. He was the one who sent Crane Immortal flying with the double afterimage fist just now. The referees on the side couldn't agree more, and even forgot to explain, this game is too exciting and enjoyable. The duel between Master Roshi and Crane Immortal can be described as dazzling. Unexpectedly, the level of the world's No.1 martial arts tournament is getting higher and higher this time. Even the referees are looking forward to the final performance. What are you doing in a daze? Hurry up and count, Master Roshi hurriedly urged. Oh, 1 2 3 4, ahem. Crane Immortal stood up and walked back to the competition stage. Master Roshi complained to the referee with a dissatisfied face, I told you to count quickly. Now he is up. As soon as Crane Immortal changed his previous disdain, he patted the dust on his body, and his expression became serious. Oh, are you finally going to be serious? Master Roshi said. Don't waste time, old man. Immortal Crane replied. The two of them didn't hide anymore, and their aura exploded. Now there are only two phantoms in the competition arena, Master Roshi and Crane Immortal fisting and kicking, the fight is unstoppable. Even Krillin could barely keep up with the speed of the two of them. I didn't expect that old man he who looked so skinny to be so powerful. Even though he was an opponent, Krillin couldn't help but praise him. The battle on the field gradually became day to day. Master Roshi was punched flying by the Crane Immortal, but he kicked back quickly. On the way the Crane Immortal was sent flying, another wave of air attacked, Master Roshi dodged and jumped into the air, the Crane Immortal chased after him, and the two hit the ground again from the air, it was wonderful. After a long time, the two of them separated from each other after punching each other again. At this time, they both looked out of breath. Unexpectedly, after 300 years, you are working so hard this time. Master Roshi knows Crane Immortal very well, he should have not practiced for a long time, otherwise with his strength, it shouldn't be just that. Old Tuhei, you are here not only for the championship of the Budokai, right? If it is just for the championship, you will not participate at all. Facing Master Roshi's words, Crane Immortal fell silent. It seems that Master Roshi already knows exactly why he's competing. After all, the Guaxian style and the Hexian style are rivals of the same school, but the last martial arts tournament was taken by an unknown boy, which is a great shame. In particular, the No.1 martial arts association in the world suddenly became famous at that session, so many people were promoting the disciples of martial arts master Wu Taito. But that's all. Guaxian Liu's disciples are nothing special, and the Hexian Liu even hides himself and dare not see anyone. Because these remarks are the real reason why Immortal Crane participated in the competition. In his life, the most important thing in his life is face. As for his personal grievances with Master Roshi, it was just incidental. Unfortunately, Senior Brother Crane, I'm going to use a unique move. Although Master Roshi was also panting heavily, he still had more chi in his body than that of Crane Immortal. You mean you can beat me? Interesting, let's try. After Crane Immortal finished speaking, he jumped high, and then he didn't plan to face the challenge head-on, but planned to use flying technique to delay time and look for opportunities. Without the slightest hesitation, Master Roshi pushed out his palms, only to see piercing light waves from both hands. What is this? How come I've never seen Master Roshi use it? Master Roshi gritted his teeth and said word by word, Wangguo Shocking Palm. Accompanied by the use of Master Roshi's world-shocking palm. I saw a lightning-like light wave between Master Roshi's hands, directly heading towards the Crane Immortal suspended in midair, its speed was even faster than Ki Blast. Originally, the Crane Immortal who was flying in the air thought he had the chance to win, but who would have thought that Master Roshi would have such a trick? Unprepared, being hit in the front, Crane Immortal was paralyzed and unable to move in the air. The lightning-like light waves emitted from Master Roshi's hands are still continuously coming out of his body, causing continuous damage to the Crane Immortal. Crane Immortal had already consumed a lot just now, how can he resist now? In just 10 breaths, he passed out. Seeing this, Master Roshi let out a long sigh of relief. He controlled his chi, and gently put Crane Immortal under the stage. Crane Immortal contestant is out. Jackie Chan finally used an incredible lightning wave to completely defeat Crane Immortal. I declare that the winner of this match is Jackie Chan. The referee announced the result of the game, and Jiaozi and Tian Xinhan from the backstage came to check on Hexian's injury. Don't worry, he's fine, just take a rest. As Master Roshi said, the Crane Immortal was just unconscious and nothing serious happened. Tian Xinhan picked up Crane Immortal and sent him to the infirmary of the martial arts conference to rest. With the end of this match, 2 monks came out of it to clean up the broken bricks and stones on the field, and at the same time refill the damaged places. This time, Master Roshi and Crane Immortal damaged the site more seriously, and it took a full half an hour to restore the site. The third game has only officially started. Contestant Krillin vs. Dumpling contestant. Come on, Krillin. Son Goku cheered Krillin. Well, I'm definitely going to win, and I was thinking about fighting you, Goku. After finishing speaking, Krillin stepped onto the competition stage, and saw Dumpling who had no expression on his face in front of him. Krillin recalled the previous 2 games. The Hexian Liu players on the field all had great strength, and he didn't dare to be careless about the little guy in front of him. If I had known it earlier, I would have sneaked a look at their abilities during the Hexian Liu competition. Krillin felt a little regretful in his heart, but it must be too late now. The referee announced the start of the game. Dumpling seized the opportunity that Krillin had distracting thoughts and was unprepared, and teleported directly in front of Krillin, raised her little foot and kicked Klin's neck. Logically speaking, with a normal body shape, Dumpling's leg would at most hit a person's knee, and the damage wouldn't be that high, but Krillin's height happened to be the neck. So this kick not only hurts a lot, but is also very insulting. Krillin was kicked in the neck and flew uncontrollably in the air. Jiaozi took advantage of the victory to pursue and used a rocket head mallet. Seeing this, Krillin put one hand on the ground and used the magical skill, Quick Dodge, to avoid this attack from Jiaozi. Krillin's small body flipped back and landed firmly, and then quickly launched a counterattack. With a sound of shua, Krillin disappeared in front of Dumpling. Looking at the empty arena, Jiaozi became a little flustered, he couldn't see where Krillin was at all. On the left, Dumplings. Tian Xinhan quickly reminded off the court. Dumpling took out 2 hands, left. Hey, the right hand is holding the chopsticks, and the left hand is. Ah, it's this one. Jiaozi finally figured it out, and Klin's attack was already approaching. With a punch, Jiaozi's small body was sent flying. Krillin didn't hesitate, and directly relied on the ultra-high speed to catch up and launched a continuous attack. Dumpling was very passive for a while. Seeing that she was about to be forced out of the arena by Krillin's attack, Jiaozi suddenly floated up by herself. He took off with a flying technique and slipped away. This trick of Hexian Liu is really convenient. Krillin raised his head and looked at the dumplings floating in the air, feeling a little helpless. He was just a little short, and he was able to shoot the dumplings off the ring. Dumpling looked down at Krillin who had nothing to do with him. A malicious smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Little Baldy, are you ready? It's my turn to attack this time. Dumpling raised one finger high, and saw a sticky white aura condensed on the fingertips. It is exactly the same as the Crane Immortal's trick Dong Dong Bow before. Dong Dong Bow. Dumpling's finger shot towards Krillin. Krillin reacted and quickly dodged. A small hole was blasted on the ground. Obviously, the power of Dumpling's Dong Dong Bow is not as strong as that of Crane Immortal, but he is the kind of continuous attack. I saw the white light waves continuously shooting out from Jiaozi's fingers. He seemed to really want to hit Krillin's body. Krillin couldn't resist at all. He could only dodge by jumping left and right. Krillin cursed angrily while hiding. The dumpling wave almost shot him in the face just now, but fortunately he was nimble, otherwise he would have given him the face. If only I knew Kamehameha. Yamcha knows it, why can't I? Krillin patted his face with both hands and came to his senses. That's right, it doesn't make sense. After thinking about it, Krillin opened his posture, squatted down, and a Kamehameha shot out with his voice. Bore. A small, very inconspicuous fart-like movement appeared, and the scene was a bit embarrassing. What? Contestant Klin actually chose to fart to fight against contestant Dumpling's dongdongbo. The referee on the side explained. What fart? This is Kamehameha, Krillin retorted angrily, and then murmured a little guilty. It's just that the power is a little bit smaller. Ha ha ha, bald man, Zhao Zifei taunted in the air, and another whole wave shot out from his hand. HMPH, little dwarf, don't look down on people. Krillin was very angry, and once again assumed the posture of Kamehameha. Looks like Krillin is going to fight back with Kamehameha, Son Goku said. No, he just tried it. Kamehameha with this kind of power alone is no match for Dongdongbo. Master Roshi looked a little serious. Even if the power of Dumpling's whole wave is not high, it is not something that a half-level Kamehameha like Krillin can resist. If he ate that formidable Dongdongbo head-on, I'm afraid Krillin would be very bad. Master Roshi was also a little puzzled. Krillin should understand it in his heart. But Krillin on the field still insisted on putting on the posture of Kamehameha. At this time, the stronger Dongdongbo on Zhaozi's finger had already charged up, and a huge wave of light bombarded Krillin on the competition stage. A smile suddenly appeared on the corner of Krillin's mouth, and he shouted, "It's now." Instead of making waves, Krillin was very cunning and relied on his own speed to dodge aside, and then jumped high in the billowing smoke. The dumplings suspended in the sky were blocked by thick smoke, and Klin, who had jumped into the air, couldn't be found for a moment. When he found it, Kamehameha, which had been stored in Klin's hand for a long time, shot out with a bang. Kamehameha. This time, the light waves from Klin's fingers were no longer the size of a fart. It was a light wave as thick as the mouth of a bull, and all of a sudden, the dumplings were overflowed by the light wave. Even the hat on the head was blown off. Zhaozi fell straight down, and when she was about to fall out of the ring, she barely woke up, stopped her falling body with the flying technique, and flew back again. It's really difficult. Krillin sighed sincerely. The skill of flying technique is very suitable for the competition arena, and the fault tolerance rate is not even the slightest bit. At this time, Dumpling was gasping for breath, and Kamehameha took a frontal move just now, which had already had a huge impact on his body. Master Roshi on the side saw it, and said with a regretful expression, if Krillin had worked harder on weekdays and read less bad books, the Kamehameha post just now should have already decided the winner. Goku nodded. Without any doubt, Kling was indeed stronger in terms of hard power. Zhaozi, stop playing, just deal with him directly. Tien Shinhan on the side said. What, does this little dwarf have any hidden tricks? Krillin secretly thought it was bad, and was going to rush up, not giving Zhaozi a chance to use it. After hearing Tien Shinhan's command, Dumpling didn't hesitate, and stretched out both hands to Krillin who was flying towards him. Krillin suddenly felt an incomparable pain in his stomach, as if his intestines were twisted together. Don't talk about fighting now, you can't even fight a flying chicken. Why does my stomach hurt so much all of a sudden? Krillin covered his stomach and yelled terribly. It's Dumpling's ability, Goku reminded from the sidelines. Krillin looked at Dumpling, and saw that he was looking at him with satisfaction. Despicable, let's fight head-on if we have the ability. Facing Krillin's provocation, Zhaozi nodded, okay. Then he walked up and kicked Krillin in the face. The pain in Krillin's stomach made him lose any combat power, and he couldn't even defend. I could only jump back with all my strength, and opened up some distance. Baldy, you can't beat me head-on. Your bald head is just right for me to kick. Dumpling slowly walked towards Krillin with a vicious look on his face. At this time, Krillin had no ability to resist. Just when Krillin didn't know what to do, he found that the hands of Dumpling walking over were pointed at him. Could it be, this skill can only? Krillin thought that the dumplings seemed to be indistinguishable from the left and right hands, and immediately said. Which hand do you wipe your ass with? Facing Krillin's sudden question, Zhaozi was a little confused. This. He suddenly seemed to think of something, and then looked affectionately at Tien Shinhan outside the court, his little face blushing uncontrollably. Good opportunity. Krillin seized the opportunity and punched Zhaozi in the chest. Idiot, look what I'm doing. Tien Shinhan's face was also a little strange at this time, and he quickly said to the dumpling. Hurry up and get rid of him. Dumpling heard Tien Shinhan's order, and once again used superpowers to control Krillin. But this trick is no longer difficult for Krillin. Do you use your left hand or your right hand to pee and hold the kun? Jiaozi couldn't help looking at Tien Shinhan again. Even the referee noticed something was wrong, and he looked at Tien Shinhan very curiously. Ahem. Tien Shinhan coughed twice to hide his embarrassment, and then roared towards the field. Don't look at me, Dumpling. Facing Tien Shinhan's scolding, Jiaozi quickly turned her head. It's a pity that Klin's attack was already imminent at this time, and at the critical moment, Jiaozi quickly responded and used his last strength to control Klin once again. Krillin didn't look panicked, instead he smiled evilly, and asked Dumpling with a look of winning. What is 1000 - 7? Ah, Jiaozi didn't expect Krillin to suddenly ask such a large number. His cerebellum was overloaded and he crashed in place. 2 hands plus a toe in a shoe don't count. Krillin seized the opportunity again and punched Dumpling in the face. It hurts so much. This is a heart-wrenching pain that comes from Tokyo. There was no suspense. Under this punch, Jiaozi was directly by Krillin until she rolled her eyes. Despicable Guixianliu. Tien Shinhan was under a lot of pressure, and in a blink of an eye he was the only one left in the Hexianliu. Not only does he have to deal with Kamezen Ryu, but also the unfathomable Son Goku. Soon, Jiaozi was also brought into the medical room for treatment. Now the 4th game begins, and it's finally Son Goku's turn. Son Jun, come on, Goku, I must win if you give it to my mother. Otherwise, you will have a good time tonight. Come on, Son Goku. In the audience, Bulma, Lan Chi, and Lan Fang were all crazily cheering for Son Goku. This time Son Goku's opponent is King Choppa. Since his last loss to Son Goku, he has been determined to become stronger, worshipping a legendary martial arts master named Ma as his apprentice. After practicing for 2.5 years, now is his chance to take revenge. King Zaba stepped onto the martial arts stage, and saw the word, honey, clearly written on his brand new martial arts uniform. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.